be here. It's another day that the Lord has given us, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to rejoice in it. Lord, lots of prayers go out to the families of the three boys at Chattooga that lost their life up there. Just had a bad car accident. Details don't matter. There's three young men not here on the earth with us no more to be with the Lord. So think about Chattooga community.
Yes,
Dean's coached these kids, been around them most of their life. So, hey, the school and Brent's wife, the principal up there at the high school, she's going to have a lot to deal with this week.
Awful tragedy. Not to go into great detail, I heard one of them passed.
Yeah.
Early this morning, and I texted somebody and asked if that was true, and they told me two others.
Yeah.
So, that's not the first thing you want to hear on a Sunday morning.
No.
And, I got the privilege to coach one in football and basketball 2 years ago, and one in football last year, and, they just getting started.
I know.
Just getting started.
The Lord's plan is way above me. I can't even figure out how to find my pants in the closet, much less understand the maker of the universe and his plans.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just pray for the family and people involved. And
yes, sir.
God's still good, I promise you. So, and then another passing, Coach Dooley. What was his record at Georgia? He won
201 and 77.
201-77. Coach Dooley was really set the mark over at Georgia. Lived a long, prosperous life, and he's gone on to be with the Lord. And, he did a lot of good things there at Georgia.
Yeah,
He was part of Pat Dye and the Bear Bryant Tree and all that stuff. They were all involved with each other.
270. I'm trying to figure out.
Great stuff.
That's 25 years. He was never the head coach anywhere else.
I don't think. Not that I know, no. Hey, Liberty freezes up their coach. Cedar Bluff Tigers have a great week of practice, said by Coach Beckett, and gets them a big-time win. And the Trojans finish off a great season and way to send out their seniors.
Yes, sir.
All that, and we'll be right back here. Stay on with us. We're going to have a great show tonight. All right, welcome back. Dean, show 161. It's a little bit spooky, a little bit of cool, and a little bit of rain going on outside. There's a lot of teams around, it looked like, for college football. We'll get into that in a minute. They look like zombies out there walking around, and the rest of them have just revived from the dead, and looks like great football teams heading into the week, guys. The race is on.
I got to say, I told you earlier, that may have been the worst Saturday of college football that I've saw.
Picks, there were a lot of good games.
There was.
But they just didn't turn out. Like Ohio State, Penn State, we'll go through our picks later on the show. Of course, we had Georgia beating Florida. We had Tennessee, and we both had A&M winning that one. And
they nearly pulled it
We
off.
liked Michigan State. You tried to go odd and pick Auburn. I would have picked Auburn if you would have won Arkansas. You just never know. But they're having a bad time down there.
So Arkansas is not a bad football team.
That was kind of some of the run-through in some of the games. Now, like I said earlier, we'll throw the scores up here on the old television there for you. Let's see right here. As the scores roll across the screen, guys, don't forget where you can find us at. It's not real hard. You always can find us here on Facebook and YouTube. And I know on YouTube it's showing you can't comment on there. I don't know what's going on. I tried to fix it last week. I disconnected and reconnected the account. Something with the bot. So you can watch us there, but you can't comment, which is that's my apologies for that. But you can catch us on iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to ride around and listen to us. And we have a lot of people that do. We have use about 20 people a week that just ride and listen at work.
I know a guy that listens at work.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. So
on Monday.
It's pretty easy to find us. Now, we'll roll that beautiful bean footage, Dean, there at the bottom of the screen.
We got Bush's Baked Beans sponsoring us now.
Well, I wish. That'd be awesome. Aaron, our sideline judge reporter, it's great to hang out with him Thursday night. over there at the battle of the guys down there on the. What a
good
game! It was a great game.
Very great.
Collinsville just handled business. They looked ready and they were attacking at the point. Everybody's sending out a lot of prayers for the family kids.
Yes, Hammond, the coach at Valley Head, was the coach at Chattooga. I'm sure he was familiar with some of these.
I forgot about
guys.
that. Yeah,
They wasn't over there when he was there, but he may still know who they were. But
now we'll go to the game Thursday night first, I guess, since that's where we was at first. Final score was
27-22.
27-22. Valley Head had scored late there in the game to get another score. Just, I guess, in the beginning of the game, they struck first. Valley Head scored first, didn't they? Did they score first? Or did Collinsville
I think
score
the board
first?
broke one, but then Valley Head went down and tied it up.
They tied it up pretty quick.
No, wait. Collinsville went up 14-0, remember?
Yeah.
Because he threw that long pass, like on the first play of their second
Oh,
drive.
that's right, yeah.
They had to drive the ball the first time.
Yep.
Then Valley Head came back and obviously made it a very close game.
Yeah, well, that going in at half, that's kind of what I was, alluding to there. Going in at half, it was 14-7, right?
No, remember they tapped one in,
Well,
right?
I mean, it was supposed to be.
Supposed to have been 14-7.
But they score
On a 80-yard pass?
on just a play right there at halftime, and that makes it 21.
Yes.
They go up 2 touchdowns, and they got the ball back.
Yes.
Oh, me. And Aaron, we were talking, and Coach Nance, Laura and I mean, you're just like, well, what do you do? Because the way Valley Head plays football, it's no secret. So we're not letting the cat out of the bag. Everybody knows by now. These guys are 9-1, going to playoffs next week. They like to run the ball and control the clock. And when they can control that clock and drive the ball down methodically and score, they can get in there. And that's kind of what they do. And you just don't have enough time to even score. But man, hey, McAteer, what do you have?
214.
214 passing.
I got it right here. 214 passing. And
he was.
Lord had 81 rushing. I mean, they just had a good game plan.
Yeah, quarterback, 8th grader he would be player of the game over there.
I would think, yes.
He'd be player of the game for the game. He had a good night, and they scored on those quick pop.
It's quick plays.
And when you can do that, it's hard. Bain went up, 180?
181. And Robinson had, 118. They got their yards.
Yeah, pretty close.
They had a lot of carries. It said they ran 60 plays in the game. And Bain threw for 58.
Yeah.
So they had but I felt like Collinsville did a good job stopping him. Bain had one long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I put all the highlight videos, guys. If you don't,
63 yards.
Go on YouTube over there and hit the highlight video for Collinsville and Valley Head highlight. I got a lot of film on that game. It's a good video.
When Bain broke that and made it 20-16, I really thought they would go on and go ahead. And then, was it 3 plays? Deep ball. They've got a good passing attack.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that Valley Head can't cover. I don't think that's the case because he came in with 1,000 yards passing.
Yeah, McAteer's good, man. His daddy was a player. His mom is Coach Ernie's daughter.
Right.
So it's his grandson. And obviously he's been coached well and right there in the family involved with that. And
awesome.
the board's great. Now they'll miss him next year. He's a senior, right?
Yes,
he's a senior.
And the 2 receivers, I think it was Bean and Lang.
Yeah.
They're 8th graders.
Yeah.
They also had a Padilla kid that caught a touchdown pass. Now he was a senior.
The Fernando kid. He's in the highlight reel catching one in the middle. He tipped it and caught it back to himself.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. They got good players.
Yeah. For that 2A region, guys, Fife is Fife, and they're always going to be up there on the mountain doing great things. But, 4 or 5 years ago, we had a Collinsville Fife throwdown up there, remember? We went.
Yeah.
It was a good game. They battled North Sand Mountain that year. It sprinkled rain.
Jones played.
Yes, and we seen him that night. Good luck to him. He's hurt his elbow, and Lord willing, get him back over there.
Well, obviously the play of the game though was 4th down and inches from the 3. Would you not agree? And Collinsville stops them. 4th and inches from the 3. They stopped them 3 times on 4th down.
Yeah, I'm talking to Alaric actually right now.
Oh, okay.
Larry was asking about stuff for Coosa if I wanted some. Yeah, well, offense. I got some defense stuff about Coosa, and we'll get in talking about them too. So it was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
And I talked to Ian that night, and I'm sure some of them were watching and stuff, and parents and everybody. Guys, at the moment, it feels like the end of the world. You know, they wanted that 10-0 season. Now to summarize that game and end with this. It turned out to be a good game. You got two great coaching staffs. Ernie's been doing this a long time, and Teddy, what a great job Teddy done on that line. They were just on attack point, but it's kind of like a workout. You stretch before you go work out. I'll use that as a dumb example. That was a stretch for both teams before they go to the playoffs. Is it important? Sure it is. To the kids, it's very important. It's an old game. They've been playing like for 90 games or something like that. Been playing since forever, like Cedar Bluff-Gainesville rivalry. But, you know, I told Ian, said, just, you know, let this soak in your belly and sour a little bit. But get up in the morning and it's done.
Right.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
And work on through the week. Have a good week Monday. Monday starts a new season. Guys, listening. Monday's a new season.
Oh, yeah.
This is not just lose and
we
just don't lose the game and you go back locker room and think about next week. The seniors, when you lose this game this week, you don't play no more football. Most kids are not playing any more football for their life. Most of them. So I just told him, I said, hey, man, just, you know, use it as a learning tool and keep doing what you're doing and be a leader out there with the guys. And Coach will have them ready, and Jody and Coach Hammond. It's good to get to put some faces with people that we've growed a lot, you know, up there. Just from trying to cover them. We like talking about them and share some pictures and got some good pictures and videos this week. So
it was a great game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought Valley Head was going to actually have a chance to win there.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they got down to the 3 that time.
Yeah.
But, it didn't work out for them. Collinsville stepped up big on defense more than once.
Yeah, and they'll play. Collins will be going to Falkville. They're not a real bad team. Valley Head will host Bear Creek. They're not. I like Valley Head in that game, and I think Collinsville can put something together.
I don't know much about Bear Creek. I know they came over to Cedar Bluff one time.
Yep.
And there was a big
huge
fight.
Yeah, I remember that.
During one of them, a player hit a Cedar Bluff player during the handshake.
Yeah, well, somebody wound up pulling off a helmet and getting hit in the face. Falkville, they're the Blue Devils. They are 5-4, 4-2 in their region. 2A region 8, number 26 in 2A. Zach's on. What's up, brother? In 2A, assistant coach listed as Coach McCain. They scored 277 far. They've given up 181. They're 5-1 at home, so they've only lost one home game. Senior Burnett, quarterback, he's thrown for about 1,800 yards.
Yeah,
21.
He sounds like he's pretty good.
Yeah, 21 touchdowns. Senior tailback, TEW. That's how it's listed.
Two.
Yeah,
yes.
He rushed for 104 carries and 430 yards. Warwick. Receiving and catching, he's over 1,000-yard receiver. Warwick, remember him. And then Powers, he's got 426 all-purpose yards. They lost to Venomant, 46-40 non-region, and Addison, 20-7 non-region. Their 2 region losses were Tanner and Lexington. That Lexington name's coming up again. They did play Winston County this past Friday. They had big wins. They beat Red Bay at home 28-6. So that's Falkville for Collinsville. And then Valley Head's got Bear Creek. Head coach Adam Lamar. Quarterback senior Elkins, 2,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, only 8 picks. QB rating of 124.
Wow.
435 rushing. Running back, man, keep an eye out for this guy when you head up that way. Coach Nance, I'm sure they're done film on them, but let old Uncle Matt and Uncle Todd here. We'll give you a little help there. 1,200 all-purpose yards.
Nice.
Mound for man, 1,200 all-purpose. And I got a star by his name, so that means he's a player. Husley, Husley, 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Ricketts, 287 with 5 touchdowns. These are receivers.
Right.
2,000 yards passing. They lost to Meek 40-6. Hackleburg 50-34. They played Addison and lost 45-12 last Friday. They were off this week. So
they're 7-3 or 6-4.
Elkins and Man. Yeah, they'll be. Yeah, that's not a region game, so it'll be 6-4, I guess. For
okay.
Phillips of Bear
Quarterback's good,
Creek.
Well,
Guys, Elkins and Mann, and Husley and Ricketts too. I mean, so they got guys.
got good receivers.
So Valley Head, please beware. These guys like to throw it around the field.
Sounds like it. Yeah, and I'm sure Valley Head will correct whatever problems they had against the pass.
Yeah,
Friday.
just some of them. I mean, number one, we all know, and the coaches know. We're not talking to the coaches. We're just talking to each other. And y'all just happen to be the lucky ones to get to listen in on the best darn sports show going. Thank y'all for stopping by with us. And the football starts up front.
Yeah, right.
You got to win that battle.
Mm-hmm.
All the coaches will tell you
throw.
the same thing. Great game for Gillsville. Yes, I am too. Yep. We're going to get into them. Let's start the show out with Gillsville and talk bragging about them. They end their season, Dean, to send their seniors off right. Briley,
3-6,
and Bunch, and all the guys. It's kind of weird, Keelan, and it's going to be weird not seeing some of those guys over there.
Yeah, it is. Especially Briley.
Yeah,
he started 9 years. So
he's Mr. Gillsville. I mean, I coached. Me and his dad and them all coached around with each other in t-ball.
Mm-hmm.
We would go there, and me and Bertie would take the boys over there and just play just a scrimmage, just dress and go over and play, and a lot of good memories with them.
Gillsville played pretty good their last 7 games.
Absolutely, man.
They had started out with West End and Coosa Christian. I don't think they had tough games there, but starting with Cedar Bluff, they played decent the rest of the year.
Yeah,
won 3, went 3-4, with 2 of them going down to the wire.
54-14 over TCC.
Yeah. Let me read these.
Keelan had about 200 yards or so rushing.
Keelan had over 200. Coach Knapp said he went over 1,200 for the year.
Yep.
Tanner Eads, 146 passing. Big
Good
game
job
for him.
It is.
He's had a couple of good games. Kyler.
Yep. Timothy's boy, Bradley. Yep.
Why am I trying to get in trouble?
Kyler and
93 yards receiving.
And Cooper, they're going to be useful.
He had 93 yards receiving. He threw for a lot of yards.
Basketball's coming for 2. Don't forget Saturday, the media days, guys. Come out about 12 o'clock and get on Facebook. We'll be live over there for the media days for basketball, and I'm sure they'll be there.
So, yeah, they will, definitely. So, Gillsville had close to 500 yards of offense. And Eads with a great game. Of course, Higgins, who got Player of the Week, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm, yep.
He's had a good year all year. I don't know if I think he had 1 game, maybe 2 this year, where he didn't gain 100.
I don't know.
To Valley Head and West End.
Yeah.
Maybe in Coosa. No, he gained over 100 against Coosa.
Yeah.
So, 7 100-yard games or 200.
Yeah. That's not a bad season.
No.
Yeah, Keelan's a good kid, and we're glad we could. I've known him since he moved here. Did youth with him over there at the church and spent a lot of time with him. Him and Bucky and the twins and my son and of course Samuel and all the group.
Right.
Spring Garden, toughest one of all. Idle. They're undefeated. Idle's still undefeated, guys.
17-16.
Coach Heath and Bunch, they completed their season. They're rolling into basketball, and I went by there to give Ace Ashley again congratulations. The next to last, player of the week, we'll have one more this week. It'll be our last player of the week that we finished the season off. So kind of got to go in there waiting on Ace to get done with basketball. Coach Blackwell was doing his thing, and Justice and St. Clair.
Justice back?
Yeah, he's a senior. Wow. And St. Clair and the other kid. I always forget his name. Dark-headed kid. He's a senior too. Hey, look out.
The one
Sandrock basketball.
younger guy transferred on.
They're good.
I think he went to Etowah.
Did he play basketball?
Other St. Clair. Yeah, remember the one that come in and hit all them
Oh,
threes?
yeah, I didn't know. I forgot he played basketball.
Yeah.
Slade, yeah, he's a baseball guy.
Yeah, he is.
Know him
we went
forever.
to one game and come in and hit 4 threes
Yeah.
back to back to back.
Yeah, he's a little athlete. That's
Yeah.
Bert's boy. Yes. Surprised. That surprised me.
He's a baseball player.
Oh, yeah, it's good. We've known him his whole life. Always been this was his sister. I mean, good Lord,
Yeah,
Riley.
she plays for Mississippi State.
Yeah, she played up there. So Sandrock's rolling in basketball, and they look good. It's going to be a interesting county tournaments coming later on around December, and look for us around that time of year also. That'll move us into our last 2 games. You see on the bottom of the screen there, Cherokee County 16, Fort Payne 35. If you wasn't there or you didn't listen, and I did listen, and I watched on TV Southside and Etowah. I was doing 2 games at once Friday here at the house. I was kind of off, but not. The wife's like, well, you're off. I mean, you're going to take the night off. Now, everybody's gone out of town.
Yeah.
So you're going to be off. Well, I can't, man. It's no hashtag no days off. I'm always doing something. Very rare. Even when we went to Gatlinburg, I had the computer out building thumbnails or something. So thank you, honey, for being patient with me with that. I just can't like to see it. The name, the show has our name up here. So, I mean, we can just be honest. And I can tell you what I heard on the radio. I think it's M&T up there in the corner. Thank you guys for stopping by and seeing us. We can just tell you the truth. The reffing was bad.
Was it bad?
Yeah. A lot of strange things like the mouthpiece stuff, when calling stopping the game, like center would get to rolling, like boom, boom, like a big play,
trying
like
to do a hurry up.
6 yards gain, 8 yard pass, jib throw pass, big 10-yard gain, and then Cornell tears her in the end, 30-yard gain. We're going to pause the game. We need to stop the game. About every 2 or 3 plays, they would stop the game, and it just after the first 2 or 3, it just kind of becomes obvious what's going on.
For what kind of issues?
Yeah, it's the
Jersey
mouthpiece. Yeah, and then the flag on too much movement by the player Jacob Clapping for the football
in the Wildcat.
Yeah, never heard that call. That's a new one on me. Now, Ralphs, Thomas. I mean, you can clue in on that and help us out.
I've never seen a Wildcat quarterback get a false start. I don't know if that's true. I mean,
I'm telling you, that's what I heard. I mean, that's.
Oh, you heard that on the radio?
Yes. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. So, there's a little bacon fried up over there for a little home cooking, and it happens. And if anybody knows the area, anybody, go back and ask some old Emma Sampson guys back in the day in the 80s when they were dogging people. I know some guys in Gene Jelks and those classes. He said, oh, yeah, that happened all the time up there. So, 35-16. But this, again, is another one of those games I've seen.
Fort Payne's got a good squad.
They're good. Yeah, I'm not taking away that they're bad, but the refs, they didn't need any help.
Right.
So, and I've seen Cheston in Walmart from Center, and he, said, hey, man, look, it's the same thing I told you. You stretch before you work out. Use this as a learning tool. You got to push on some big guys.
Right.
And get ready for corner. And that's what Coach Kelly, I'm sure that's what he's going to have them doing, because by Sunday morning after his ride to Birmingham to Montgomery Saturday, you stew on it and you get over it.
Which people hate that ride, I'm sure.
Cornell still had, 170, 180.
Yeah. He's got 1350 for the year. He ended up with 180 on total offense.
Yeah.
But 125 rushing. Amos had 79 rushing.
Okay.
He's rushed for about Jack has rushed for 350 yards in the last 3 weeks, or maybe close to 400.
Yep.
Hopper did not play. Jeb Crane.
Yeah, he had a couple of good passes. Yep.
Yeah, and but 35-16. But I
Malachi,
just move on past that.
Horton had 100 yards on kick return stuff.
Kick returns.
See that? That's pretty good, man. Wow, that's
pretty good. He's had a good year too.
Kai had, he's good, man. These seniors are doing good, and we're pumped for them to make a good run here. I like Center to kind of march through that bracket there. We've talked about it on our special show that I did Wednesday. Broke all the games down and Corner and their record and who they've played. And I think Fort Payne could beat Corner. Pretty good.
I would think so.
Pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I think Fort Payne's better than Corner. So,
I think Center will be all right.
Yeah. Now, the last game we'll talk about, and then we'll move into a little bit of playoff talk and whatnot. And I'm waiting for Andrew's supposed to be coming on from Powerhouse Sports and tell us about the South bracket stuff. Teams he likes. They do a show like we do. He has coaches and players on and stuff. I always had a lot of views on his show. And the Battle of Murder Creek, I want him to tell me more about that.
Murder Creek?
Yeah, it's a game between two. It's just an old rival. I wanted to hear about that.
Scarum Creek.
No, yeah,
they
right.
had that this week.
Yes, old Scarum. Cedar Bluff, Dean, 34-0.
Wow.
The Traveling Beckett's tuned up the band, and Coach Little struck a note over there and just denied Donahoe any type of offense. Did Pack have 2 picks?
He had 2 interceptions. Caden had 2 interceptions and threw a touchdown. Cedar Bluff rushed for 356 yards.
So Caden and Hunter Stallings, both Hunter Stallings, Hunter Jenkins.
Hunter Stallings didn't play, and Bucky Lee.
Yes, and so Jink, man, little Jink run for over 200 yards on 20 carries.
203 on 20.
Cade
Browning
had
125.
Wow, man. So Dylan, big man, splashing pancakes with extra bacon and syrup.
Well, the article even said, the article by the Anniston Star said Jenkins and Browning ran through huge holes opened by Kennard.
Wow.
And Dylan led the lineman in rushing this week. He had 5 yards on one carry.
Okay, and that's a big win for Cedar Bluff.
And Hagen Stallings scored a touchdown. So the lineman had 2 carries for 6 yards.
Well, hey, look out, man! That's what Granddaddy said. Smoke them if you got them.
Well, the only thing that's great. But now, if your linemen are leading you in rushing, you got.
That's a problem. Like Alabama, your running back lead is the leading receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Something's wrong there, and we're gonna get into that too. Spring Garden. Like we said, couldn't get past the undefeated Idol.
Nobody's going to beat them.
I don't know, man. Everybody's had trouble with them.
I mean, but they don't ever score. I don't understand.
Alabama had them this week. Yeah. That's tough, man. Bye. They will be hosting South Lamar over here Friday night at Howard Field. Mm-hmm. And Cherokee County, of course, will have corner. And the traveling Beckett's and the band will be riding about a 3-hour drive up to northwest part of Alabama, a little town called Meek. We talked about Meek.
What's Meek's record?
Meek is undefeated. And
wow.
Meek lives in a little town called Arley, and there's about 300 people lives there.
Wow.
They are 9-0 when I done this. I think they were done. They were idle this way. I don't think they played this week.
Did they not play this week?
No, Linden did. I want to play. I want to go see Linden. They
bad.
Did. Okay, well
I meant to tell you that.
Yeah, that's good news.
Like 45-6.
Wow.
How good's Mars Hill?
There's gonna be mine. Deaver, he's averaging about 200 yards on the ground a game.
Yeah, he's rushed for close to 2,000.
He's a Ian Bain 2.0.
Yeah,
okay, let's just be honest. 1,800 yards on the season, 27 touchdowns. Wow. Defensive end Roberts, he averages. This is average by Max Preps. He averages 7 tackles a game.
Pretty good stats.
So if you average 7 tackles a game, then that's going to put you at about 70 on 10 games. Freeman, safety. This guy he has at least an interception per game. Let's get over here and see our comments. We missed some guys.
How many has he got this year? 6,
it
7?
It didn't show a total. It just gave me an average for the season.
I find it hard to believe he's got 10, but he could.
Yeah, Meek 10-0.
1,800 yards rushing.
Farmer, running back, and Firth was the other FRITH, so the other tailback, over 500. They got a couple of tailbacks to hand it off to. Miller. Miller's another guy because if you're averaging 450 a game and yards rushing, you don't have one guy. So it's Freth and Miller, and Deaver is the leading back. It's kind of like Little Bain, Ian, and then Robinson.
Right.
The Bain brothers and Robinson. There's 3 guys running this ball. They did beat Maplesville. Miller had over 120 that night. Deaver had 34 carries for 300 against Maplesville. 9-yard average with 4 touchdowns. Benson had 3 touchdowns. Number 11. And then number 1, Roberts had 8 solo tackles, 11 for total. Freeman had 5. So this is a game against Maplesville. And then we're talking about Meek here if you guys are coming on. Cedar Bluff will be traveling up there. That was just a look inside. If you want to go back and hear more about some of these other teams, go back on YouTube and see the one that's got the bracket on the page and says, "Let's look inside." Click that video. It's only about 20 minutes long. It's not real long.
So Meek averages close to 400 yards rushing a game.
450.
Just like Valley Head, which averages 430.
Yes, they're a lot of luck.
Wow.
And they could lock up somewhere. It could happen. I mean, the way they could line up with each other.
Best team Meek's had since 1990.
Yes.
1990.
Let's see here. That's hilarious.
Oh, I need to get those.
Yeah, we'll talk about Coosa Christian. We'll get some stats from them. Yeah, and while you're doing that, let's look at let's hit the comment section. Aaron, what's up? Josh Smith, it's going to be Valley Head versus Spring Garden in the semifinal round. That's very possible. It could be very. Spring Garden will have Coosa Christian the second round if they both move on. Hey guys, from Mark Welch, what's up? That's our buddy, man. We love Mark.
Mark Welch.
Saw some pictures, shared some stuff with Luke and Chaz playing football. Had some pictures we put up on the page of them. Nice. Centerpoint and Leeds decided not to play. Yeah, I hope they both paid a fine.
They just decided not to play.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay a fine, obviously.
Wait just a second. Hold on, Matt. I'm looking for your
Valley head coach is
here.
it's looking. It's on in your messages.
Yeah, I know.
No, not them. Not Messenger, but the regular message.
Oh, okay.
Coach Nance said go Cedar Bluff.
There we go.
Bo Bicuspid, what's up, dude? Glad to have you in here. He strives from the hills of the Orangemen of Orange. Where is Jeff lives in where?
Powder Springs.
In Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've been there before. And where's our Tennessee guy at Luke?
I don't know. He's probably pretty excited there, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Bluff will upset Meek. Josh said, hey, man, you never know. The game's played on the grass.
No comment.
I mean, you just never know what might happen.
I mean, it's happened before. I remember one year Hawks Bluff was 4th, and they went and played Haleyville. It was 9-1 and 10-0. I don't even think it was close.
See, you just don't know how these regions have played out. In Maplesville, yes, they're a powerhouse, and they put us out pretty good in a bad game in us finals. But I don't know how good how good are they really? We don't know. These are all theories. All I can give is information about the team.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know how good. It doesn't sound like Meek is one to mess with too much, but now they don't sound unbeatable.
Sure, they may run into somebody later.
I mean, you can't go over there and play bad. And I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying nobody can go over there and play. Cedar Bluff has a chance, obviously. But
sure.
We also, you have to get
realistically, it looks
turnovers.
It don't look good on paper. It don't. I mean, this team ain't been beaten. They've been beating everybody by average of 20 by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you could assume.
I can't say that they will upset them, can they? Of course.
Absolutely. The game's played on the grass. Shout out to.
We'll have to have a lot of things go our way,
Yeah, and it could happen. Bucky gets in there and gets to play. He's a dynamic player.
He is going to get to play.
Logan Hampton, little Lolo, man, he blocked a punt and said he made 3 or 4 tackles on the night. He has really come on. I like talking to him and chatting with him. And I
think they should have Hunter Stallings back.
Yeah.
So they'll have all the key ingredients too. Obviously, none of the linemen are hurt. Kennard, Stallings, Hagen plays on defense, but Kennard's 100%, and obviously Browning and Jenkins, who's playing out of his mind right now.
That's great.
Pack also playing well, and just it's the right time to peak.
Tiana says the way City Bluff played Friday night was a different team that we have seen this year. Coach Beckett, I talked to him. He come off with John Holder. If y'all missed that, go back and find High School Sports Alabama, John Holder and Coach Short and company. And I talked to him after that, and he said they had a great week of practice. Dang.
Yeah, I heard they had a very good week of practice. And Mark, I'm not trying to quit worrying.
It's going to be a stud. Oh, yeah, I know. You're very right.
We've seen some other players that are going to be
South
good.
Lamar worries me, but everybody does in the playoffs. That's true. I wouldn't worry with
You'll
that
be
one,
fine, Mark.
I would focus more on later on down the line. You probably get Coosa, and Coosa would like a second bite at Spring Garden that they lost, 27-0 first meeting.
There are upsets in the first round, Mark, but there's not many.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's usually like you get a third round team that's made it through.
Yeah, I don't
like that.
I've seen them. I've saw them a lot of 4s, upset 1s.
Not Hackleburg, but
over the years. But
the ones Markston played.
Hubbardville.
Yeah, they were
Woodland last year.
They were a 3.
Yeah,
and
they went to the third round.
Or was they a 4?
No, they were 3. Marcus and them were 2.
Okay, so we host and dude, they go on and beat Pickens County next week.
Yeah, next week, and then didn't even get beat bad when they got beat.
Oh man!
And then last year you had Woodland.
Yes.
who didn't even have a winning record, upset Cedar Bluff, then upset somebody the next week.
That's right, Mark. One game at a time. And Smith, yes, Elba did. Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah. I think they lost this week.
Who beat them?
I'm fixing to tell
Hewitt
you.
Trustful.
No,
Okay.
I've seen this. I've seen it come across my thing because I got a lot of those other teams on. No, they didn't lose.
Josh, I would be 100%.
They beat McKenzie. Oh, they played McKenzie.
Mackenzie won it when I was the year after I got out of school.
They went 1-8 this year.
Josh, I would think that they are.
Elba plays Southern Choctaw. That's what it shows here.
I think Elba's definitely the favorite. Do you? Don't you?
Yes,
I personally
absolutely.
think Elba's the
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Those guys, and if we get Andrew on here, I don't think I'm gonna get him on. I can't wait on him all night. I know.
But I do think they are the favorite in 1A. What's that? Decatur will beat Fort Payne. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that a bit. Dennis. Bun.
Coach Bunn, is anyone beat Elba? No, nobody's beat Elba.
Nobody's beat Elba.
Decatur beats Fort Payne. Fort Payne Friday night.
Yeah. Fort Payne's that 6A's tough, especially when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah. Speaking of some of the other, the second round, we're talking about Spring Garden and Coosa. The Conquerors, the Fighting Whitmires, they win 43-14 over Victory. We figured they would win that game, and they're be 5-1, 6-1 for the region, I guess. They got Hackleburg, their first round playoff. 43-14, Jaden Burns hits a 45-yard field goal.
Wow.
45-yarder. His dad shared the video to me, and Average Joe's page, Reggie was over there. He's got it up on their page, and Reggie took a picture with Jaden. Great guys, his dad, and Jaden, and everybody. Super nice people. It's been great to get to know them.
Right now. Yeah, those are good guys over there.
And I think Cleet's going to, golly, where's he? He's over 100 tackles.
Oh, yeah, he had 15 the other day. 15
against Victory. He's a tackling machine.
Yeah. He 13 and a half tackles. Well, it says 13 and a half. 2.5 quarters. Gave up 0. 4 turnovers, 1 touchdown. Special teams caused the turnover as well. Jacoby Tugger had a punt return for a touchdown, and Eli Mopes had a pick 6.
Wow.
So it looks like they scored more than 1 touchdown. Well, no.
They had a few interceptions and special teams play, I think. A fumble recovery for a touchdown. And
Albury had 12 tackles, 3 for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good stats.
Yeah, they had a good game. John David for quarterback, he's had a good year.
Yeah, he has. A running back's good.
And they don't throw it on him a lot. They won't throw it on him a lot to be able to do. He don't have to try to win the game.
And don't forget about this. We'll go through this in a minute.
That's Andrew. So he's having some baby troubles, and I said, I got you, homie. I have been there.
I'm talking about this stuff from
yeah, we will. But he can't. He ain't gonna be able to come on, so that's fine. He's got baby stuff, and mom's got to work, and daddy's at home doing baby stuff. You know what? I did it. I had a crying baby one time, and you just
gotta go on.
So sometimes they have bad days, man. They do. He ain't gonna be able to make it on. But listen, go over to Powerhouse Sports. Find him on Facebook. And he covers a lot of stuff, Dean, from all the South. And me and him talked for about an hour. We talked for about an hour the other day, and he shared some news with me about some city schools in like Pensacola area, how bad some of the areas are down there. I mean, like shootings in the stands.
Really?
Yes, very, very bad.
Shootings in the stands.
Yes. This is a rough neighborhood, small city schools, and the head coach is the only one paid at the school, and he gets dads off the street to help, and sometimes that can cause conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Some coach, 38 years old, had a heart attack down there at one of the high schools.
Was it caused by what was going on the field?
Probably.
Oh, my gosh.
It's
Guys,
so.
sports, I'm sorry, it's not that serious.
We're talking about Panhandle, Florida. It's rough. We were talking about how Georgia, they cover some Georgia and Alabama stuff too. Mississippi, they kind of cover all around some high schools. And so we talked for a little while, and I asked him just straight up, tell me about the Andalusia Montgomery Catholic. So 4A people, if you're paying attention, He thinks Andalusia it wasn't represented quite as well. Montgomery may still win the game, but Andalusia's player went out, had a concussion, left in the ambulance. The game was tied at halftime, and Montgomery just hit a few big plays here and there, so the score don't represent what happened, if that makes sense. Right. It's one of those things like you have to be at the game. You see scores and you're like, holy wow, what happened there?
They average 500 yards a game.
Yeah.
But they didn't gain a lot against Andalusia, not like they.
But what was surprising, his picks, I was like, well, who do you like around that South area? And he kind of alluded to enjoying the idea of Aniston. Andrew really likes Aniston. He complimented Aniston, Coach Rico White, a lot. They have the guys. I mean, I want to talk about one team before we move on from that. We're going to have our player of the week too. And we got some cool news from Mr. Roy Mitchell. What a fantastic rider he is.
Oh, he is. He's
but
a good
Montgomery guys, they're averaging all these yards a game.
And 56 points.
Yes. And if Aniston could somehow, beat them in a probably maybe a semi or third round type game, there's one other team, that's sneaking around. And I watched this game the other night. Aniston played Jacksonville the other day. That third week of the season.
Yeah.
I told you I'd rewatch that. Guys, Jacksonville's winning this game. I mean, they're up by like 2 touchdowns. And here comes Cam.
Yeah. Oh, he's good now. Bun, what does you think? I don't think there's no possible way Aniston can beat Montgomery Catholic. But do you think it's possible if you're watching Bun? Bun's our kind of a go-to on the. He's probably a pretty good game picker.
Yeah, absolutely. We survived that night when we missed that kick against us in Coosa. Yeah. Yeah, Jaden usually makes that kick. And, and you know who's undefeated in that region then? Would be Coosa.
Oh, yeah.
Valley Head would have been second.
Oh, yeah. They would have been second. Yeah.
Brantley almost beat Elba, but watching the game, it felt like Elba was in control the whole time. Yeah.
I've seen games like that. Yeah. They'll be close.
We are like that because he has to take reading glasses everywhere I go. We're getting old, Dean.
Yeah.
He said he has to take his with him too. Yes, they can. They have everything to do with it.
What's that? What was that, Dennis? So he thinks Aniston can beat Montgomery Catholic. This is the same Montgomery Catholic that Fife had to come back and beat 2 years ago. Those guys are seniors now, right? They had 5-16-0. Well, I mean, they may can. But
there's one team. I'm gonna check off this team right here that there's just nobody talking about them. And I'm just saying, I'm not picking them to win state. I'm just saying,
make some noise.
Nobody's talking about them, so I want to bring up Jacksonville Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they're not.
Great coach, fantastic quarterback. Have y'all seen him play? Holy crap.
He's one of the best around.
Dude, receivers, line, I mean, they handled Aniston. Aniston is loaded.
They are.
That line, they handled Aniston most of the night. And Aniston's got dudes.
Right.
Jacksonville's good. Jacksonville's got a good football team.
They do. Ogles is very good.
First team only played 4 drives in the game. JD was 3 for 5 for 60 yards. This is Coosa Christian stuff. Had 4 carries for 11 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mostella, 13 carries, 153. And Tucker had 3 catches. He's really good. Tucker had 3 catches for 60 yards.
Yeah, he is.
Total yards offense, 351 by Coosa Christian. Thank you, Larry.
Mostella's getting close to 1,000, if not over.
Yeah, I think he probably put him over.
I will say this about Aniston, I do agree with you about Jacksonville. But I'm sorry. I saw what Piedmont did in that 5-minute span. If that happens in the state playoffs, they're done.
Yeah.
I mean, do you not agree?
Yeah, you're talking about like
I mean, you left the ball game, didn't you?
To get down and try to come back in a game.
Yeah, I mean, 30-7. Did they just go on cruise control? I have no idea. I don't.
Jacksonville. I'd like to talk to Andrew about that because he would. Jacksonville plays Bibb County, right? And Montgomery Catholic Dean plays Bayside Academy this week, and Andalusia plays Jackson. Orange Beach has got BT Washington. Aniston's got Hale County.
I know Bibb County's pretty good. That'll be a good game between Bibb County and Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. Anderson has the side and the speeds and athletes they do, man. And Jacksonville, I'm telling you, you go back on FNN Network, anybody want to watch, and it's back early in the year, flip through down the box. Mr. Jacobs, Jim, does a good job with putting on the games on TV for the kids. Go back and watch Jacksonville Anniston. Just watch the game. And watch it out just to go after halftime. I'm telling you, Jacksonville, Hanley's going to play West Blockton, and T.R. Miller's going to have Montgomery Academy. Montgomery Catholic and Bayside. Montgomery Catholic. Boy, I'd like to be there Friday. We need a helicopter. Bo's been trying to get one, him and Reggie.
Bayside.
Yeah.
Private school.
Yep. 2 private schools matching up.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there's nothing against private schools because God knows, without Marco Bryant and Teddy.
Oh, God, we love it.
When's Coosa ever been relevant? When?
I know, not till here
Never.
recently.
So, yeah, but when you're playing private schools, they get to hand-pick players. So I don't care if you say, well, just work a little harder. Or that coach, what are you trying to say? And the coach is not good? Yeah, absolutely the coach is good. It takes a good coach still to coach up players. But if you get to open up a bag, everybody else gets this bag, and then you get to open up a great big bag, the chances are you probably, but it takes a good coach. I understand both sides. It takes a good coach to reach in there and pick the right chip out of the bigger bag, right?
Right.
You do. And like O'Brien, Tim and Teddy and Larry, they work hard. Guys, I go there and Teddy's, I don't know if he ever's off. He's always doing film or something.
They do work very hard.
But see, it took that because they're putting Coosa, trying to get them on the map. It's not like back on the map. Coosa's never been on the map.
Right.
And they are now. People are paying attention. Guys, I'm telling you, at Spring Garden.
People weren't going to Coosa to play football.
No, and they are now. So if you ain't doing nothing, not this weekend, but next Friday, if Spring Garden and Coosa win the first round, which we feel like they will, go over to Spring Garden and watch Coosa and Spring Garden type. That'll be a great game.
Yes, it'd be Bayside Academy. Will Zach Morris and them? No, I've heard all those jokes. Those are good.
Zach's pretty good. I think he throwed for about 5,000 yards.
Oh gosh, Slater, he's a great receiver.
He rushed for. He rushed for 5,000-6,000.
Piedmont beat Bayside, yes, and I'll tell this on him because he don't watch. Jeff Bullen said that was the worst team he'd ever watched in a state championship game in his entire life.
And Bullen knows football.
He was talking about Bayside Academy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dennis. I'm not knocking, but how did they get there? He's like, how did they get there? How bad was the South?
Yeah.
And Piedmont beat them to death.
Yeah.
Taylor Hayes. That's when Taylor Hayes.
This is going to be a big problem for people next year. Yeah, Sam's right. Hey, look, I could go ahead and pre-pick. I think they're locked to probably win that region. Why wouldn't they be?
Gosh. I mean, I'm like
no knock against Valley Head, but them
Valley
boys are leaving.
Loses, yeah.
They're losing all those. They're losing those boys.
Yeah, I mean,
Coosa Christian and Garden won't be 20. That's right. I agree, Aaron. It's going to be.
I wouldn't think so.
Y'all do a great job on your show. We try to live up to the standards, Coach Short, that you and John have set. And maybe in 10, 20 years we'll get there. We're going to be as good as Holder and Short does. They do a good job. I love watching them. And they stay up late, man. It was like 1 o'clock of the day. And I'm trying to watch them. I'm falling asleep. Coach Short and them, man, they tag all night long. Had Coach Beckett on the show. You should have watched that. It's good.
Well, what does he think about Anniston? Can they beat?
Yeah, Coach Short. I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? Because that Andalusia Montgomery game, and Coach Short wanted to turn me on to Andalusia. He said, "Hey, these guys are good." So I was like, "What? I don't know." I mean, he knows. I don't.
Right.
These South teams, I'm not in. We keep up with up here.
I want to look at something. That stats. Anniston does not have their stats. I know Anniston has got a great.
Yeah, Coach Short.
Team. I would love it if they could beat them.
With Coach Short, do you think? You think Anniston has a shot to beat Catholic? We're all kind of
hope so.
We kind of cringe and think there's no way. But I've never seen them play. All I can go by is what I see on paper, and what I've seen on paper, they're just guys. Their points for and against is like 400 and something. They don't give up but like 80 points this season.
Oh, I'm sorry. They had 500 yards against Andalusia. Their closest game's been 42-21. And that was against.
Points for and against. 568 to 80. They're on a 10-week winning streak. So when you say, "Well, I think this team can beat them," you're just like, it's hard to. We're not saying that it can't happen. We're not stupid. We may look dumb, and we're country, but we're not dumb. Cobb, he's averaging 140 a game. It looks like. Harkless, the receiver, averaging 80 a game.
Throwing for 21.
9 tackles a game. Average Jones. What?
Throwing for 216 yards a game.
How do you average 9 tackles a game?
Oh gosh.
I mean, you average 9. Who does that? So we're just thinking that by looking at this is all we can go by. Mm-hmm. And Coach Short, you can back us up on there. Does Aniston have a shot? Did
he ever answer us?
McCrary, E.J. Babes, but Cobb, Montgomery Calf will be a tough. Yeah, man. It would be a tough out.
Yeah, Aniston. That'd be the game of the year.
Catholic has as many athletes as Aniston. Where the game is played may be key. Yeah.
Well, see, I was shocked that Aniston handled. Aniston did beat Hanley 32-7.
Let's just find out where it would be played, Coach. That game will be played. Aniston's on top. Where's Montgomery? Montgomery is they're in that whole other. Coach, that game would be played. They wouldn't meet till a semifinal, and the game would be at Aniston.
Ooh, okay. Dennis, I agree with you. They can.
Coach Short, it's by the bracket there, it shows they're on the top. So they would Montgomery Catholic would be home, mm-hmm. Travel to Aniston.
Now, we picked Montgomery the Catholic to be state champions, when they played 5 that time.
Yeah, we was like, dude, they're
Montgomery Academy upset them.
They're going to come back and be great.
Yeah.
They got athletes everywhere. But the tallest kid that went to UAB, Brody, Dalton. Brody just decided to do what he usually does and just have a fantastic game.
Yeah, him and Ryle.
And of course, Ike just don't hurt neither. Guy that runs like a 3.7 in the 50.
yeah, they ended up with over 300 yards in that game and had nothing in the first half.
Paul just never. These great coaches, guys. I know we're gonna move on. We like talking about this though, and Coach Short and all them can agree. They just don't, man. They just keep ticking right along and doing their thing. They just don't freak out. Coach Benefield didn't, and they just won the game. Yeah, I do, Tyler. Thank you for coming by. We love old Tyler. I've known him since, actually the day he was born. I probably held him when he was a month old. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I know, man. That's going to be interesting. This 4A stuff, nobody's talking a lot about Piedmont and Oakman. I know Oakman's not won a lot of games. They lost to, I think Linden or somebody beat them.
Right.
So that 3A.
Meek beat them. No, Meek did not beat them.
That's going to be an interesting, how we're going to.
Somebody beat Oakman the other night.
Yeah. It was a small team. Mars Hill and Venomant, they'll get the winner. Mars Hill would assume will win. They'll get the winner of Winfield and Geraldine. Coach Michael, but Coach Michael up there at Geraldine, he does a good job.
He does.
So don't be surprised if Geraldine and Mars Hill, they'll tie up second round. Madison Academy and Phil Campbell and Sylvania and Fayette County.
That'll be a good game.
Yes. Now this is the bottom part of the box, the bottom two. Piedmont, Oakman, I think they get Pennington and Gordo.
Who is probably the favorite.
Yes, and they'll beat Ohatchee. Now, bless his heart, no coach at Ohatchee. I nearly said his name.
I don't know who it is now.
Crud. We just went away. Anyway, he's done a great job. He's won some of those games that they should have won, and they got him in the playoffs.
Yeah, they did make the playoffs.
Lauderdale County will play host Susan Moore, so Piedmont and Gordo, Dean, looks like they would meet in the 1, 2, 3, third round. Be very interesting. Finley at Ohatchee. Coach Finley at Ohatchee. I almost said Coach. I didn't know if it's a G or an F. I know, but Ginley didn't sound right. But hey, you never know.
Let me find where you sent that to me again.
Which one?
I've had 100 messages today for obvious reasons,
Oh yeah, the kids up there. So that 3A. But here's the team that everybody's kind of going to be talking about. Dadeville's come on and had a good year, man. They're not bad at all. What about Sachs? They got Trinity's, they're going to go to Trinity and play.
I don't I think right now, and we focus mostly on 1 through 4. I think the favorites right now are Elba, Fife, Gordo, and Montgomery Catholic. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, somebody, please. I mean, I may be. I'm not 100% sure on 3A. I don't know what's in the.
See, Thomasville was kicking around this 3A, and we know their name we're familiar with them.
Yeah.
WS Neal, they're not playing bad. But Sax and Excel, man. Andrew was telling me about Excel.
I don't think Sax will win Friday.
Yeah, Excel, they're supposed to be something else. And that Alabama Christian team, I remember covering them last year. And I mean, they had a good team last year. And Randolph County,
County's played
guys.
good all year. But now somebody said they were the worst undefeated team.
I know. How can you be the worst undefeated team?
Worst undefeated team in the state. Was that not made? That was
comment. Yeah, and I talked to a guy that his son plays at Randolph County. He said they're really young. He played on those years when dude played up there.
Right. Now, Rico Hunt. You talking about Ezekiel Knight?
Yes, Knight.
Yeah,
he played
for Alabama.
He was the center on this team. The guy I talked to. He said his son played. He said they're really young. Got a lot of 10th graders. So, St. James. Yeah, I know, man. And that's one of those private schools. And if you get to pick the best berries on the bush, then your pies are probably going to taste better. Does that mean the coaches don't have to work hard again? I ain't going to get into that. No, it don't. Don't be ridiculous. That's just being naive and foolish, and you're trying to talk down to somebody like they're ignorant. We know. We've done this for a long, long time. We understand the game, but
don't try to tell me they don't have an advantage.
They don't play by the same rules. It's different. The rules, they don't, and it's different. And the coaches still have to work hard to bring those players and to make them better.
And it's legal.
They're not breaking the law.
They're not doing anything wrong.
No.
Nothing.
No. And when you got coaches like Coach O'Brien, man, he's changing lives up there.
And you have to get them in there. Randolph County quarterback is injured now. Okay. So
that ain't good.
Move Randolph County out of there. That will hurt them, I would think.
Yeah, don't get Mark started. He'll get crazy.
What's that?
On that private scope stuff. It's just different. You're not playing with the exact same rules, so they should play their own league, and that's fine. And it's never everywhere else does, and it's not going to happen here, and it ain't no big deal. So there was some of the playoff games, and we give our local scores.
Just get better.
Yeah, just get better with kids like
Y'all give coaches way too much credit.
At a small town like Cedar Bluff with a population of the town is what, 700-800 population.
So if you under practice, you're not practicing enough. If you over practice, they burn out. So exactly how do you just get better?
But if you got a school that does work hard, and it's not a knock, so that's where people get lost. They get lost in the conversation because they want to turn it to manipulate the conversation because they don't want to be wrong. And I'm not saying nobody's wrong or right because it's an opinion. Everybody's is right. Like having a belly button. We all got one. But if you're a small town of 500, like Meek, 350 people in that town, how are they going to play Mars Hill and beat them?
Well, they're not. They're not.
Because they have a bigger pool to pick from, even in a small town, and it comes with grants and money and help because they're private.
Right.
And they get advantages that other schools don't. Can Meek recruit kids? We heard people say, well, public schools recruit too.
They can.
Yes, but if you move over and
they're going to get in trouble.
If you don't move and do it right and don't come the year before or whatever, you can't play.
Right.
You can't just show up in game 3 of the season and well, we're going to come to school over here now. We live over the bridge over there. No, you can't. You're not in the area. Yeah, so okay. And we're not against it.
It's legal.
It's like when Saban said Jimbo was paying players. It's not illegal. He's not breaking the law. He's not supposed to use an NIL and say, come here to Texas A&M, we'll get you a good NIL.
Right.
He can say, if you come here, I'm sure we could probably do something.
Right.
And that's not illegal now.
No.
Give Reggie Bush his Heisman back, and I'm going to end it with that.
I never did really understand why he was so tore up over the comment. I'm not taking up for Nick Saban.
Because they're buddies. That's the only reason.
He felt like he was throwing him under the bus.
These guys grew up together. They're both from a small town in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. They have summer lake homes together, beach homes together. It'd be like me and you getting a fuss. Your feelings would be hurt if I said something like that. You'd be like, man, come on, bro. We're buddies. Why would you do that?
It would.
And then Nick's like, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said a name. I should have said whatever.
Right. I don't know why he did that. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. We can talk about that during college.
We're going to talk about Roy Mitchell.
Yeah, let's talk about Roy Mitchell.
Roy, if he's watching, we hope that he is. He does come by the page some. He says he watches some. We appreciate it. Anybody watches from our local writers. Shannon Fagan, he's our local writer for the county. We love them to watch the show and comment. Tell us about these games. What do y'all think about some of these matchups? Roy's doing a special. He's got, what is it, Dean? A top 10?
Top 10 county high school games of the year ranked
this
so
year.
far.
Yep.
Regular season.
This year.
And I think Matt would agree with the top two. You got Cherokee County over Piedmont, number one.
It's big for the camp. That's just it's been years. Talking about 12, 13, 14, years.
And he wants us to debate over this. He says it in the text. I don't think that is. I think the number two is number one. But he said he struggled with that. Cherokee County over Etowah, 45-42.
Guys, throw up your gang signs there. Tune in the radio show this week should be a good one. And Coach Short is talking about God's Country 90.9. Is that right, Coach? Mm-hmm. On Wednesday mornings when I'm a little more freer, I can get on there. Man, it's just like Coach Weems. Mm-hmm. Those old guys, and they just talk ball. I like it. I like going there and just listen to them talk. Go over there to 90.9 on Facebook and check them out every morning. They do weather, fishing reports. But number two game, Center beating Etowah.
Yeah. I would swap them personally. I agree with that, the top two.
I like the Piedmont game being one because it's been so long.
It's been long.
And because Steve has dominated North football. In this area of these square miles, Piedmont gets to talk because they win state championships. Right. They have overshadowed a lot of people. The umbrella that Steve has cast because they're so good teams and the coaches. It does. And you beat that team, that pokes a hole in the umbrella a little bit. Right. You can kind of shine a little bit and say, hey, we are pretty good. Mm-hmm. The Etowah win, now, the last time they played, 50 years ago, they lost to them back in 85 when and they lost because Steve had to come in as a 10th grader and they couldn't beat them. See how that story ties? Steve has to do with both number 1 and 2. Right, what about that? Because he had to come in and play because Coach Welch had broke his Wester had broke his leg.
Right, exactly. So Steve,
I like one being
his 10th grade.
That's right. I like the Piedmont game in 1.
All right, so Etowah 2, 3, I definitely agree with. Cedar Bluff Gillsville, that was a fantastic ball.
It was a good game. They're both in a spot right now. They're kind of reeling a little bit from having great teams. Just being the great time of old. They're trying to get numbers back and get better, but. Guys, that had nothing to do with that battle over there of Highway 68, the 82nd battle over there. It didn't turn out the way Nat wanted it, and it was a game he had kind of won. You felt like turnovers both ways.
It was a good game, and I think what the excitement was going into overtime in the last play, 4th and 9.
Yeah, so McFry catches, not McFly. McFry makes the catch.
But McFly is a last name. That is not fake.
No,
it's
sure.
Not made up for a movie. That really is.
But it's not his name. It's an R, not an L. So, and that was a great game. That would be that's high on the list for county games. Yeah. Sure, absolutely.
Now, Roy, you said we could disagree with you. You said you was waffling on this, and Matt can help me. You weren't there. He's got 4, Spring Garden 47, Raglan 21. That game was horrible. Spring Garden just smoked them.
Yeah, that's no offense to our beloved game. Spring Garden people. It has one player of the year, which we will do next week.
Right.
Both players of the year, Luke Welch and Coop.
Coop, yeah.
If Raglan people are watching, I apologize. Yeah. They said they didn't have a good week, and that's what they – okay, then those things happen. That game was never close.
No. It was
not close.
A good game. Spring Garden was in complete control, but it does look like it was a good game.
It wasn't.
No.
They could have
read the article. It looks like it was.
They could have put the junior high in. It seemed like they just didn't. They just didn't have no answer. John Welch was the.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Big John. He's not little. I used to call him Little John when he was little. With like little baseball games, like when we'd go years ago. He's not. He's Big John now. Piedmont is the number 1 for center season. laid the groundwork. Yeah, it made them start believing.
Roy's very smart. He said,
Absolutely.
I'm not sure about 4. Okay. All right, 5, I agree with 100%. Aniana 17, Cherokee County 14. Aniana scored with 1:20 left.
Oh, yeah, that hurt. That's a thorn in the side.
Fluff Bothwell.
Yeah, he's really good.
He is. Number 6, Wadley beating Spring Garden 9-0. He's not saying this is the greatest moments. He's saying these are the best football games.
Best games. Yeah, I was there.
A pretty good
I was at the game, stood in the end zone and watched. They tried to get in like 6 times down there. I don't know, and Wadley's wasn't better than them. They just. I'm not making excuses for Spring Garden because Coach Howard wouldn't want to do that. Mm-mm. They just looked tight. I don't know what they look. I don't know what was going on. Mm-mm. It's like something happened, like somebody stole their candy before the game.
Yeah. They
just would look nervous. The snaps were a little here, and Chat would have one here, and it'd come off his finger. Just little weird stuff.
Right, weird stuff.
And they just couldn't, I don't know, man. They couldn't score.
Well, that's not like
strange, super like the Twilight Zone.
Number 7, I will say this for you, it's the longest game I've ever been to in my life, and it was frustrating. I was actually up in the box punching stuff. Cedar Bluff 22, Winterboro 20. That was the 43 penalty game.
Yeah.
That was a maddening ball game. I can't agree with that, Roy. I didn't care about anything.
Yeah, well, I went up there in the box during halftime or something, stayed up there a little bit. Even the other refs up there think we're a little bothered. He's going to Spring Garden Friday. Give me a steak sandwich. I hear you, big dog. You too.
But that's the only one I don't. But now on paper, 22-20, and it did go down to the wire. Now I would agree with this if it wasn't for the penalties, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
about 3 hours and 36 minutes.
And that's not in the. Did you write that game?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't mention the penalties, you look at the score and you think, well,
it's a great game.
Along with 43 penalties.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was. Number 8, Galesville over Decatur Heritage.
Big,
I agree
huge.
with that.
I would
110%.
I put that 5. Take that 5. What was the 5?
That was the 4 was Spring Garden Raglan. Put that at 4, yeah.
Yes, because Spring Garden dog Raglan. That wouldn't even. I would put that. Galesville wasn't supposed to beat them.
No.
And I went over there that Tuesday to give Keelan his shirt. Remember? Mm-hmm. I told you when I come back. I called Dean on that evening. I said, "Let me tell you something, man. I don't know what Knapp's got going on, but that he's put in some new plays, some crisscross. I don't know what he's got going on, guys. I'm not offense coordinator. I'm a line coach." Mm-hmm. They may win this game.
And they did. 9, Sandrock over Whitesburg. I agree with that. 33-0. Which I'm just saying I agree. Roy's sitting there going, I don't care if you agree with it or not. They wasn't supposed to beat them 33-0, were they?
No.
Whitesburg nearly beat Collinsville.
Yes.
Nearly beat. They had to kick a field goal to win that game.
Yes.
And 10 is Cherokee County 56-23 over. Mumford. Cherokee County was on fire. Mumford with their D1 quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Beat them 56-23.
That's
a good list.
He's going to Tennessee as a D-back.
That's a good list. And like I said, I would keep the Cedar Bluff Winterboro game looks good on paper, but actually being there, and Sam can attest to that.
I would swap 4 and 8. Was it 8?
Oh, my gosh. Yes. 4 and 8.
Yes, yeah. Mr. Roy, if you're listening, or later if you're on podcast, 4 and 8. And I'd go along that list perfectly.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the game does look good. We were at Raglan. Yeah, Spring Garden.
No,
they was never a question. We never went, you know, what if they get in this here? There was a moment, and if you go back and watch my highlight reel, you can hear it a little bit over the music. 3rd and 1, I said, this is a big play. They stop them. I said, that's a huge stop. Then the next play, they stop them on 4th down. They was up 21-7 before half, and they stopped on 4th and 1. I said, that's ball game. That was before the half.
But great list, Troy. Great list.
Yeah, we enjoy it. That article will be printed. Go get your Scott Wright Rand edition of the Cherokee Post-Herald.
It will be coming out in that.
It'll come out this week.
Tuesday?
Yeah, and it's also Tuesday. This will be a good rollover into it, and I'm going to talk about corner for ASA Hobart. Tuesday night, be here. Right here, live. I'm going to do the reveal show will be out Tuesday night. The number 4. If you're free, if you're going to be, well, I don't know what you got going on. Practice.
I probably have practice. I think we don't, and I ain't getting into that, but we're having trouble finding somewhere to practice. So we're having to go late. So they're redoing the floors.
At 6 o'clock, Christian Chrysler that's from Spring Garden. That
Right.
he started his own little show, and we inspire him to do it, and that's great. And Kreider, he wants to start his own
Right.
podcast. I was like, hey man,
Yeah.
Great. We inspire somebody.
Yeah.
We'll support you. So I think I'm gonna try to get him to come on here and Zoom in with me, and we're gonna do a Tuesday night, turn it on TV, and we'll chit chat about those rankings. Who's gonna be in the playoffs? The first playoff bracket Tuesday night, 6:00. That's
one.
gonna tell us. And Bama's not gonna be in the playoffs as of right now.
No way. Not after what I saw yesterday.
No, ASA. I'll tell you, corner. They are in Warrior, Alabama. They're 7-2, 5-2 region. They've scored 347, allowed 183. They are the Yellow Jackets. And one of the dads, Rouse, he is one of the assistant coaches. His son is a senior defensive end, and he averages 2 or 3 sacks a night. He's a good football player. Peterson, their quarterback, he's thrown for over 1,100 yards on the season. Wide receiver combo, sort of, maybe come in and play Wildcat.
Right.
He's a junior. His name's Dyer, last name. He averages about 55 to 60 yards a game on running the ball out of this Wildcat. And a free safety, a junior, Boyd. He's good for 5. He's had 5 picks in one game.
He's thrown or intercepted. I mean, he's intercepted 5 passes in a game.
They had him down for 5 picks in a game. I don't remember who they was playing.
That's gotta be a record.
Who was they playing?
Allen Iverson did that. I don't know if y'all fans know.
Yes,
that. He did
yeah.
that.
I don't remember who they was playing, but maybe they wrote it. I'm just taking what I seen in Max Preps, and Max Preps could be wrong.
Well, that's probably a state record, I would think.
But Dyer maybe he had 5 picks.
Well, no, I mean, it's happened. A guy from Gaston intercepted 4 in a game against Rackham one time. Long time ago.
I bet it's 5 on the season. But they had it that with the game stat, so I thought, okay, because then this other guy had he had 54 yards, rushing for the game.
Wow.
In the Wildcat. And he also caught like 200 yards, received 200 and run for 50, like Cornejo will, sort of. The Dyer kid, so yes, they beat Dora 24-14. Peterson threw 2 picks in that game.
Dora's got a pretty good team.
Dora rushed for 285 against corner, and Dora had 414 yards on total yards for the night.
But lost.
Yes, definitely. The defensively, number 31, Coffer had 11 more tackles for the night. Number 55, the Rouse kid, he had 10 tackles that night. And number 20, Bale, also had 10 tackles for corner. So those are names, Coffer, Rouse, and Bale.
Who's beat corner that quick?
They lost to Northside Rams, which were 7-2, and they have give up 122 points. They're 5-0 away from home. Here's a team that's going to be lined up this weekend: Westminster and West Morgan. The West Morgan team, head coach Phillips, they lost to Dessler, which who hasn't? Dessler is the team. That's the one you're going to have to get through. They're 10-0. Their running back Fletcher is the guy to watch for. Receiver Burgess. This is at West Morgan. So
corner looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, they're 7-2 on the season, and you can see those stats there. Look at the safety Boyd on the stats.
They lost to Haleyville and Boyd. Let me look at the stats.
Yeah, they lost to Haleyville and Northside.
I don't know much about them.
That's their 2 losses.
But Center has home field advantage. Center's tough now.
Yep. Head coach is John Cooper.
Do you want me to go to tackles? Did you say defense?
It's a free safety, the Boyd kid. Supposed to have 5 picks.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Maybe that may be for the season.
No, he had 5 in a game. He's got 7 on the season.
Oh, no, what? Was that right?
Yes.
That's the way I read it too. So
I mean, it's got to be. He's got 7 on the season.
Okay, so I was right. Luckily, I read it. I thought when you questioned it, then I was like, well, maybe I just read it wrong. But that's what it looked like. It said for that game.
No, he's got 7 on the season.
Who was that against? Their last game before, I guess.
I gotta see. Well, we can't get into. Let me see here. This is pretty interesting, guys. I know this is a rabbit hole, but
if they'll show who it was against, you can go to that team and see.
Well, I know here what I can do. Here I can go defense, and I can go to top performers. No,
he's a free safety. Boyd, B-O-Y-D.
Okay, here we go. For defense, game stats for defense.
And sometimes they don't give them.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. interceptions. What it says here, he had 4.
4 in the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's still a lot.
That's still a lot. Okay.
4. I'll circle that and scratch that out for future
Well,
reference.
that's just what. And I'm not knocking Max Preps. I mean, let's be
Well,
for real.
yeah.
They've got 10 million schools.
Oh, my God. I'm
But-
honestly 10 million. They do all
I
over
mean,
the
they
nation.
do, and they're great. But sometimes things are wrong on there.
Northside is very slow. Okay. See, they lost to them. They lost to Northside that game. Now Northside scores. They've scored 260 points this year.
Now, I personally don't think that.
Bracket as of now, what do you think has the best chance to? If you're referring to 4A,
Montgomery Catholic.
they would be. And Coach Short, we just went through that. Mr. Hobart there just a few minutes ago. By looking with our 4 eyes, Montgomery Catholic's favored. They're beating everybody 470 something. They've only get up 80 points this year. But people that are at games and have watched them, Powerhouse Sports, Andrew, he really likes Anniston. And our 2 old goats here, I'll call them old school guys, Coach Bunn and Coach Short. These guys been coaching a long time. They also feel like that game may be played at Anniston. Anniston could beat Montgomery. Because they got cats, and that Cam guy, they got a lot
Cam
of
Sandlin.
They got a lot of players that are the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
They do.
No, I don't think. I mean, I think corner. I don't think center don't need to just come out there and think they've got it, but I think center is better than corner.
Yeah, I like center going several rounds.
Yeah, I think
We really think so. Now that
10, 12-point favorite against corner.
Deschler,
I'm thinking it'd be 50-0.
Deschler's the undefeated guys,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't meet Deschler till. Let's see. Now Deschler's in this whole other box, so they're in this top 2, so they wouldn't meet Deschler till a semi game.
No.
Center would have to go through.
They beat Deschler.
If Cherokee County can beat Corner, and then I'm favoring Westminster. That kid, that Roush kid or whatever I told you about, has like 7,000 yards. Okay, they may meet them second round. This kid can throw it all over the place.
You know, they beat Deschler to go to the championship. In
Really?
09. Yeah.
That may be.
And 8.
See, so if they can beat this Westminster team second round, then they'll wind up probably getting Dora or Randolph. I don't know about Rogers. They'll get them for third. And I see them. We think Cherokee County clicks right along.
I
And
think they'll be okay.
Spring Garden, too. We think they
Yeah.
click right along and make a run at it.
I think they'll both get out of the first
Now, if Cedar
round.
Bluff get us out of that first round of Meek and they spoil their season, number 1 seed, and they
That'd be great.
run spoiler, Cedar Bluff would come home and play, I think, probably Pickens. Well, wait a minute. Cedar Bluff would be home, and they would get Pickens County or Wadley.
Tough
You
road to hoe.
get to come home and play. Pickens County is always good. So that's high school, man. We spent over an hour on high school.
Yeah, we did. Well, it's that time of year, though.
Yeah, because it's not going to be. This is kind of it, sort of. I mean, we're going to not talk about it, but there's only going to be 3 teams in it next week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're still going to discuss it.
Yeah,
It's that big time, isn't it, now?
Priceville. Yeah, they're definitely worth mentioning. Priceville is undefeated, and I got some stuff on them too. What did I do on Priceville? Yeah, they're 10-0.
They usually throw it around.
Yes, the quarterback's the Pritchett kid, number 10 senior tailback, 1,400 yards rushing.
Priceville's good.
Cartee, Cardi. And then number 13, Gaines, he's got over
300 receivers.
300 receivings. He's thrown 8 touchdowns and 1 pick, so it sounds like probably you tailback. They throw enough to keep you honest, Priceville. And
Mostly running the ball, right?
senior running back, Cardi.
Are they 10-0?
Cartee, yes.
Wow.
And they're by their schedule too. Some of those wins they got some good wins. Yes, sir. I'm gonna get you one, big dog. He needs a 3X shirt. I'm fixing to order probably tomorrow. I'm gonna find out about some stuff for a media day. So I'm gonna try to put in maybe another order of shirts.
Okay.
We'll get some.
Yeah,
I'm just going to do these again, I think, and then give
Okay.
some more of those out at the media day. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
We'll do some more of
Perfect.
them. Maybe get a sponsor or two, and we'll put them on the sleeves or something. Maybe I'm gonna talk to Kent at Rehab Partners, see if they'd like to sponsor it, and whatever they give will just be buying the shirts. Like the shirts will be like it'd probably be 30 shirts will be over $200, $250. So whatever the shirts cost. Hey, whoever wants to do it, if anybody's listening, y'all want to sponsor the
Right.
media day? Well, if they got your logo at TMC Graphics, we'll throw your business on there and just buy the shirts. If one person wants to buy it, I'll just tell you exactly what the total is, and you can pay it, and we'll put your business on the shirt and give them out at media day or basketball Saturday. A lot of big college football going on this Saturday. So we're going to roll over here to college football.
We're going to do POW.
Yep, we sure do.
POY. I mean,
And we got, before we go to our,
no, it's POW.
yeah. We'll do POY next year. Next
Player
week.
of the year. Yeah, it is POW. Not prisoners of war. But our prisoner of war this week is.
This week, guys, it wasn't real hard to pick a player of the week. But this week, Dean, we're going to definitely, I think it's a foregone conclusion that, little Jink, man, Hunter had over 200 yards rushing at Cedar Bluff against Donahoe on the road, have to win game. They had to win this game. Obviously, the boys are not done.
Yeah.
And their co-player of the week, we're going to have two this week.
It's the first time we've ever done this.
Yeah, and because we'd like to give every school two, it worked out great.
It did. It actually worked out perfect. We were so actually worried
Yeah, I was,
that
man.
it was not going.
Because we try to give everybody two.
Yes. And our co-players of the week, Hunter Jenkins, 203 yards, and Tanner Eads, threw for 146.
146 yards passes. So Tanner, he's puts in work over there a lot, and I've talked to him a lot. And he's a great kid. Mom and dad, know them two very well.
He's
and
gotten a lot better.
yeah,
Improved.
well, I tell you what, and this may be hats off to Kobe being over there, and Brian kind of letting loose the reins a little bit and letting Kobe help the quarterback. So, Coach Brandon at Galesville, the baseball coach, he's helping with football. So, hey.
That gives us two from every school, and well earned. And just to go, not to get too deep in it, but that's Eads and Higgins 1-1, Jenkins and Browning. And from Spring Garden, it was Connor Bates and Chapel Pope.
And Cam.
Did we give one to? Oh, yeah, we did. They ended up getting three, didn't they?
Yep, and Jack and Cade
Jack and Cade.
and Cornejo.
And Cornejo. So that's, and we also,
Ace
Sand Rock, Ace
and
Carson.
Yep, some schools went with three, and that was just because they may be the only team in the
Well,
county
there's
that
11 weeks.
that won that
Yeah.
week. It
Yes,
may have been,
they won.
and the other schools may have lost or they was off that week.
Right. So,
And yeah,
congratulations to these 11, 12 guys.
Dirty. That's what they call him,
Who's Dirty?
Jenkins.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dirty Jink.
yeah.
That's a good nickname.
I see him over. Talbert, what are you doing, you old rascal? You.
I love some of the nicknames. Dirty, Milk. Those
I
are
love
great.
Milk, Dirty Milk.
But
th-
still,
those-
Shaky D's the best nickname.
Wow, it is. Shaky D is a good nickname.
And Dune Buggy. You can't. That was Gary Covington.
Gary Covington. Yep.
But don't like it. Don't call him that.
No, he didn't like it.
No.
I remember.
He changed to Sud.
Yeah, that's why we know.
Still
we like.
called Sud.
Yeah, go Warriors, Talbert. Yes, we just broke down some stuff about corner and hang around, Talbert. Well, let's do some college stuff with us. You ain't doing nothing else. Jacob Chambers, Hunter played an amazing game and definitely deserved it. Thank you, Jacob. Jacobs, you've had a good year too. Start up there and snapping the ball. I know all about that. Snapping is the hardest job on the field, and I'll fight you over it. Whoever wants to call me out, call me out. Snapping the ball and blocking a guy, recognizing the blitz, who's coming, who ain't, and making sure the guy behind you gets the ball. It's not high or it's not low.
You probably
that's
don't have to do a lot of.
That's a lot of stuff going on.
When I say this, I'm not saying you don't do a lot of things. So you probably have to just be like, you just have to
Yes.
go.
Yep.
You can't think about it.
Yep, and you need to have. And Marcus did it in Pee Wee some. That helped to being able to get used to people pushing around on you, and he didn't have to read linebackers. He just could work on his snapping. But dude, you get to high school.
Dill Pickle.
Dill Pickle. Yeah, he had.
I'm not calling him nothing, Sam. I can't even handle him. I'm not going to say something to somebody I can't whip.
He's a big softy, man. He's a big, lovely guy. Bo Starkey said he would take him in a bar fight any day. He said a big guy like him with earrings, like, dude, bar fight breaks out, Kennard's going on me.
I'm not going to take on Dylan anytime soon.
He had pancakes with bacon and syrup. Yeah. He had extra sausages with his pancakes this week. Obviously, they had done a good – and again, guys know a pancake's not a real stat, and we don't get – like stats for
no, we don't get lineman stats because they wait. Most coaches
Sunday.
do them later.
Sunday, they usually. Yeah. And I know
they're
Teddy,
not an official.
Like Teddy was giving me stats and stuff. He was doing stuff today, this morning, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll send them to you later." That's just one example of.
I don't even think college. No, they do every stat in the world, but I don't think they do pancakes.
Chris and Misty Strickland, hello. How are you guys doing? Do we cover Cleveland? No, not necessarily. We're not out there up that way, but they got a good football team. Dude, we bragged.
Yeah, we did think their quarterback last year was fantastic. Best player we saw all year.
Nobody was talking about him.
No, where did he come from?
Yeah, like what? We're at the state game. Like, how did he get to state? And we knew about it because they played Spring Garden, and Chapel had lined up to key in on the guy, and they had a battle, a war that night. Cleveland goes on the state, and we watch him. So, no, not particularly, but when they give scores, and we talk about, like, yes, when they win a game or lose, we give scores. Mr. or Mrs., whichever, Strickland, yes, we do talk about them some.
We talked about Washburn for sure.
Oh, man, wow.
Logan.
Whew.
Yeah, he was our state player of the year.
Godly, man. How did he not? I don't know, man. And I know it's up there, and Aniana's up there too, and they both went to state. We sat with those fans actually last year.
Yeah.
They never left. That county, that community stayed and watched the other team.
Oh, yeah. Southeastern's up there too.
Oh, they got a good year rolling. They won that region this year. Dirty 30, that's her boy.
Appalachian up there. Good football.
Yes, congratulations, little Jink. I think we called his dad Little Jink back in the day or something. Maybe it's where I get that at.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I coached him the first year I ever coached.
He was good.
Middle school football.
Yeah, he was good. I remember him being good at basketball. We would play pickup games around the park. Yeah, he could dribble the ball and move. Yeah, we used to have a lot of fun.
The first, I'd never coached before in my life, and I went and asked Steve Smith. I said, "Can I help coach?" He goes, "You can help Howard and VL." I said, "Well, I can't do it much." He said, "Come on by there and ask them, and they'll put you to work." So I went by there, and it was Josh Moulton, Cole Pease, Jenkins.
Wow, that's
Kevin
good.
Chestnut, Josh Story.
Wow.
But
there's a bunch of good players.
I'd never coached before in my life, so we went over.
You didn't need to coach them much, did you? Probably.
Well, no. Listen to this story. So I go over and do some wave drill or something for DBs, and go back over and I said, "Coach Howard, that one kid sure wasn't doing much." He goes, "Which one?" I said, "That Moulton kid." And he chewed him out. He's like, "Josh Moulton, you don't be what do you call
taking advantage of a new coach?"
Yeah, you do your drills like you're supposed to do them. And
he's just like, he didn't have to because he's really good.
Yeah, so that's first practice. Howard said, "Hey, did anybody goof off?" I said, "Yeah, that number 8 over there." Sorry about that, Josh.
Their son is the running back, number 22. I'm sure they missed the. Who is your son, number 22? Yeah, I'll put his name down in there because they're playing and they got. Who y'all playing this week? We went over it last week of everybody who they was playing. They're in that bracket with on the other side from Sandrock and them, in that other bracket. They're playing Winston County. They'll get Miss Strickland will be playing. They will be traveling. If they win, they will be traveling to 5. Second round.
No comment.
I'm sorry.
Guys, y'all.
Well, they know. They're not crazy people. Their boy plays football. They're on a tear this year, man. They're scoring 500 points. They've only given up like 70 points. 5 is Coach Paul's on
they're just
on a tear. Taylor Smith. Yes, they're right. They're playing Winston County. I've seen Cleveland, some film on them one time. I think Bo Ridge and him had went up there once or something, and I think they could probably beat Winston County.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I like them in that matchup. But you get, I mean, who wants to go play 5?
It's like my senior year. We lost to Meek by a point, but the winner got Cortland. So who cares?
Yeah, it's my. I mean,
I don't
who,
care that I lost my last game. So what?
Who you want to get beat? Cortland get beat 50-0.
I got beat by 1 point my last game. Meek got beat by 35.
Yes. Cedar Bluff has a bright future, Coach Short. Yeah, we think so. Milk and all that Jenkins man, he's got 3 more years.
Yeah,
Milk will play 4.
Yeah, Hunter Stallings is a pretty good player. You got
Gosh.
Pack, Beatty,
He'll
all
be
them
back.
Webb,
Yeah. Carson will be back next year.
Hampton.
Flint, Big Joe, he'll be back next year. You're losing Dylan. Dylan's a big loss for the offensive line. His energy on the team is a big loss.
Jacob's coming back.
Yep, Jacob will be back. So you get a starting center back. That's great. Having a center for 2 years, something works good, man. That second year for Mark, it worked good. But linebacker wise, you're losing Cade, and you're gonna have to feel. But man, I know. But those little guys are little headhunters. They're crazy. Marcus said this was Marcus. Now, guys, y'all go get Marcus. The kids are listening. He's like senior. These guys are like JV or 9th grade. He said, "Dude, those little boys are wild." He said, they're going to be good. He said, they're not afraid of anything.
No,
like Preston would hit them and like throw them down. They would just, hey, we're
care.
still playing. Yeah, they didn't care. So, Coach Short, I think so too. If Coach Beckett and his dad, Bobby, him and Coach Johnson were Batman and Robin. When you've seen one, you've seen the other. Tons of stories out there about Coach Beckett and Coach Johnson winning a lot of football games. I think Alan will do a good job over here.
I don't want them to play 5. Nobody wants to play 5.
Yep, that'll be second round because
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you what I told my son, and this is what I told him. We had to go up there and play 5 his first year, and he wasn't supposed to play. Ross gets hurt. Gunner gets moved to the end. So Gunner comes off center. So guess who had to start center?
Marcus.
Welcome to varsity football. He was a 9th grader. He was he was 10th grader that year. And this was like early in the season. We played them like game 2 or 3. His first start, he had played some in the first game, but he didn't start. So his first going to go on the field is going to be 5. And he comes to the fence, and I said, well, buddy, I'll just tell you what. They put on their cleats exactly like you do. They're well coached, and I would use this as a learning experience to go up against some of the better linemen in the county. Learn what they do and watch how he plays, and just hold on for 3 seconds until Luke can get rid of that ball. Do your job, have a good time, and smile. You're playing 5. And I told Paul after the game, I said the only bad thing about this game was y'all didn't bring enough fireworks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 40-0 at halftime. Every time we punted, it went straight up in the air, and they got the ball on the 20 about 3 times in a row.
Well, Collinsville's had a great team. I was impressed with Collinsville, and 5 beat them 61-0. I was talking to a fan the other day, and they had one, and and they were honest. I said, "What do you think about 5?" And she looked at me and said, "Ridiculous."
They're just really.
It's ridiculous.
It's the community, it's coaching, it's all, and I'm not saying there's not other communities. Golly, I mean Cleveland, that community up there, and the coach up there at Cleveland, he does a good job. We hear stories. I hear stuff from Bo. He knows him and how good he does, and more they sold out together. But Paul's just been doing it so long, man, and it is what it is.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there ain't nothing we can do about it.
No, you just go up there and watch them and enjoy and encourage them because they're good kids.
It's like Cortland back in the day. There's nothing you can do about it.
But when you play this guys from 5, and my son played them for 2 years, class. Don't talk trash.
Yeah.
Willing to give a hand to help you up. Never say nothing. They're just they're not. They're just there like it's like they're got these blinds on. They're just there like to do a job. It don't matter who's there. They're playing. They're just come to whoop butt and they're going back home. They don't, and they're polite about it, and they don't brag at all.
No, they don't do anything.
We see those guys like
Levi
and I. We see them after the games or Dukes, and I see them out, and they don't like brag about how much they've won.
No.
Teddy will never say nothing about it. If you ask him, he'll talk about it. But I don't know. It's like they're just
different.
Yep. Coach Paul does a good job. And when he leaves from up there, it's going to be a dent on the mountain. Yeah, let's take a break here, Dean.
Yeah.
We're going to go freshen our water cups. When they go and put private schools, Keith, you shut up. Get me started. That's not going to happen. Don't get me fired up about that again. He did that on purpose.
Yeah, they're not.
No. All right, we'll be right back. Y'all hang around. We're going to just go fill up our cups here and stretch. We're going to do college, about 20, 30 minutes on college. All right, baby, what's going on? We're back. Went and got me a piece of cheese bread. Guys, if you don't know about us, we're the Matt and Todd Show, and we cover all local sports. We're going to do a little bit of national attention. Going to give some college scores. Going to give our top 4 and kind of where we think. We'll mention the AP poll. We're not doing top 10 this week because
it doesn't matter anymore.
Tuesday night we're going to have a special with View. Watch with us. I'm going to bring on Christian Kreider. He's going to come on with me. He does a little podcast of college football.
Right.
And we're going to talk with him and let him kind of break it down and tell us what he thinks.
Well, can I start out by saying one thing, Matt?
Say 2 things.
I thought yesterday was a terrible day of college football.
Think so?
Did you? Definitely the worst this year. Worst week.
Yeah, it just wasn't good.
No.
I was a little disappointed.
Do you think? Now let me ask this. I'm just posing this question, and people, y'all can respond. Do you think they play too many games?
No.
You do not. It just seems like everybody just seems to have a week where they're just not there.
Well, they get bye weeks, so
yeah, that's true. But I mean, have you noticed that? I mean, they're just dead in the water.
Good question, Nutty Bar. Yeah, we gotta do like wings and ribs. We need Talbert. Keith, since you're on here, you big goon, make some brisket and some wings, and you could sponsor the show, and we'll come over to his house and shoot a portion of it, and we'll do it there.
Yeah, that
Talbert
sounds great. So you don't think they play too many games?
No.
Okay.
Kids play all the time. I mean, it's not new to them to play.
I think we need to go back to 11 myself. That's just me.
Yes, Keith, you don't. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry, Keith. I've hurt his feelings a little bit. He's one of those guys he don't have to be invited. I've known him my whole life. Just say, "Hey, stupid, I'm coming over and I'm bringing some ribs or something." I'm say, "Okay." Hey, you don't have to plan for your friends to come. You're welcome anytime. Just let me know so I can put my drawers on. You know, catch me here, my finger, my belly button, getting out the Al Bundy.
The lint. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes. Logan, that's a good question. Nutty Bar was for the win. It was just better, man. I love an oatmeal pie, and I do like the Swiss rolls.
Yeah.
Man, that crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah, the Nutty Bar is the best.
We did like the Nutty Bar, and you can pull it apart. You know, you take that.
Yeah,
that's great.
I know. We need to start eating it with knives and forks like George Costanza.
Does he?
You don't remember the show where they ate all the Snickers bars and stuff?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Snickers. Yeah.
And then the guy said, "What are you doing, Costanza?" He's like, "Well, how do you eat it? With your hands?"
Yeah. Weirdo freak.
He turned it on him.
I'll start off with this score, and then we'll get into some other scores. Notre Dame 41, Syracuse 24. Fake news, Syracuse. Fake news.
Notre Dame goes in there and does that. I thought Notre Dame would be all right. Now, I never did think Notre Dame would be.
We can do it. Yeah, we could do it on a Saturday, and I could record it and then play it on the show Sunday. Yeah. We could record it on a Saturday, and do a.
I never did think Notre Dame would have a bad team. I didn't think they would be in the Final Four.
No,
but
they're just not real good. I mean, lost their coach, and
yeah. But I thought they'd 7-4, 7-5, 8-4.
He's doing the best he can. I mean,
but that's a big win for them, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, on paper,
considered where their season has been heading for the past month.
Yeah.
And now they got Clemson coming up. Okay, how's that?
I mean, where's it at?
I don't know.
Let me look here. Since we're looking at stuff like that, I can see Notre Dame pulling an upset there because Syracuse about beat Clemson down there. Where games at makes a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, it is at Notre Dame Saturday. I don't know. What do you think? Is it possible?
No.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Clemson wins that, huh?
Yeah. That's just. I could be wrong, and I've been wrong a lot of times in my life, but
I think they could pull it. I really do. But now, if they will, then another thing. I think they can.
Raider on 2nd and 7. Looks left to the end zone. Touchdown, Orange.
7-0. They come back tied up. Now, this is early in the game. This is 11 minutes, 11 seconds. But they come out shooting. Now, remember, Syracuse has had a good season so far. They give Clemson all they wanted.
Yeah,
It was late.
I mean, I thought they were going to
They pulled the quarterback. They had to put Klubnik in, remember?
Yeah, but the running game was
Right before halftime, Notre Dame can do it. Right here, look, they're up. They score late. That's the kicker right there. 24 to 10. With 3 minutes left.
With plenty of time on third.
What are they doing? Why did they stop playing? Did you see that? Yeah. Oh Lord, he's got to be hurt. That's a butt ball.
Oh, it's 24-17.
Yeah. So they hurt the quarterback, and when they come over and get the ball back, and they force him to punt, they block it.
It is blocked.
Special teams, guys, young guys that are watching, special teams is so important.
Definitely the difference. I mean, who knows? Syracuse
By the way, that was James Williams, the punter. There is Notre
They can
Dame
win you a
takes
game.
it in for the touchdown.
It's
going to be really interesting to
Go
see
in Domers, man.
what Notre Dame does.
It got away from
I think
them
they are
late,
a
though.
dangerous team.
Yes, it's a better game than it looked like.
Yes, it got away from them late. That's some highlights from the Notre Dame Syracuse game. I watched the first part of it, and I thought, well, Notre Dame looks like they're going to pull away. I didn't tune it back in. I was checking out the Dogs, number 1.
How'd they look? Look pretty good.
Above average.
Mm-hmm.
They're not world beaters to me.
You don't think they're nowhere near as good as last year?
No,
I don't either,
no.
and I don't think their fans do either. They may,
just not, man. He threw for 316, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
and one was taken from the receiver.
Yes.
It was still a pick.
Edwards, 106 with 2 touchdowns. McIntosh, almost 100 with 2 touchdowns. Bowers, the circus, it hit him 5 times, 5 catches for 154. McCackey, 50 yards and a touchdown. And here's my key to the game: 26 first downs for Georgia.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
the negative to the game, we'll go over Florida here. AR-15 threw the ball 37 times for 18 catches, with 270 and a touchdown. ETN, 53 yards. That's the difference. Henderson on receiving, X, he had over 100.
So Florida just didn't rush for many yards.
Shorter, 66. 371 total yards for Florida. 0 for 3 on fourth. 4 for 16 on third.
Well, that's what lost them the game. 0 for 3 on fourth.
Yeah, 16 first downs.
Ooh.
They couldn't move the ball.
Georgia
against-
does have a good defense.
Well, it's Kirby Smart. I mean, let's just give credit where it's due. 4 for 16 on third down.
Ooh, gosh, that's
But
bad.
Georgia turns the ball over twice. They have 550 total yards. They
Didn't
throw for
hurt.
300, and they run for 240.
Lord. That's a
Good balance.
Good performance.
Good balance.
Yeah, I think Georgia's, they're definitely a top 3 team. I
Oh
think
God,
right
yeah,
now,
they're two. I like Ohio State one, and in the AP poll,
I still like Ohio State.
we'll do the AP poll. We'll
Right.
give it here in a second. I'll let you tell it. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think Ohio State's one. They just look crisper, better. Florida's not no better than Penn State. Mm-hmm. No, what? So Ohio,
Florida beat Utah earlier in the year, and nearly beat Tennessee.
I think Florida win. The Florida loss was Georgia beating Florida is not more impressive than Ohio State beating Penn State. The rankings tell anyway. I mean,
No.
Penn State's a ranked team, so let's just
Yeah.
talk about it. And then probably our game of the week was
Kentucky, Tennessee.
yeah, that's a big game. I mean, we were all looking forward to that. We thought Tennessee may be able to give them a game to maybe Ohio State Penn State was our game of the week, but
I got the stats on it. Matt, here's the difference in the ball game. Kentucky, 205 yards
rushing or passing.
in all.
Oh God.
90 passing, 115.
I
rushing.
watched a lot of the first quarter of that game. Not all, but a lot of the first, and I was on another game because I knew you was going to do it.
205 is
You're not
bad.
gonna-
That's bad for a high school team.
You're not going to beat E.L. Smith Elementary School.
No. Tennessee, 422. Hooker, 245. 3 touchdowns. Our main man, Jalen Hyatt, 5 catches, 138 yards. Nobody's stopping him. He's got 900 yards, Matt, on 49 catches this year.
And Tillman didn't
On
even.
50 catches.
Tillman had, 3 catches?
Tillman ended up catching 4 balls
Four.
for 22 yards.
I think they're easing him and ramping him
yeah.
up for Georgia.
Yeah. But Tennessee looked great. Their defense looked amazing, and that's what worries me, being an Alabama fan. no offense, Logan Brooks, not really wanting Tennessee to win it all, but not a Tennessee hater, is their defense is coming around. I mean, Kentucky's not great on offense, but they're better than 205 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So Tennessee obviously worked on some defensive stuff this week. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I-
And he possibly
Well,
will.
he's not a Heisman contending quarterback. Bennett is not. So let's stop, Georgia
No,
fans.
that's
Stop.
over with.
Big Mike is not saying his quarterback is a Heisman pick.
I still think it's between the Heisman, between Hooker and Stroud. Hooker, another solid performance. No interceptions, 3 touchdowns. He's only thrown 1 interception all year, and that was to Helms for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And Hyde.
Well,
Guy
yeah,
Hyde.
Kool-Aid had one the one they called back.
Yeah.
We'll go into our games of next week, and Ohio State, Penn State. We'll just cut the mustard pretty quick, Dean.
All right.
Penn State's Allen, he had 76 yards rushing. Singleton only had 45. Not sure what's going on completely with him, but Clifford 3 picks,
Oh gosh. that was a difference
32
in the
for
ball.
47,
How many yards?
371.
That threw 3 picks.
But he threw 3 touchdowns.
How about Stroud's number?
Yeah, 350, 26 for 33. He threw 1 touchdown. Washington had 180 yards for Penn State.
Wow.
And he's from Sugar Land, Texas.
Washington.
5'10", 200 pounds.
They're loaded, aren't they?
From Sugar Land, Texas. They almost had him a walk-on quarterback, if anybody y'all know what I'm talking about. We did a video, Eli Manning dressed up as this guy.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I love those.
That was great.
Yeah.
They was
Dressed
like,
up.
well, who's
This
that?
is a new walk-on.
Walk-on. They was like, he's garbage. And he started throwing the ball, and the coaches walked over and like, so boy's pretty good.
They did that with Jared Goff at some junior college, and he comes out there. He's got the long hair and the mustache, Fu Manchu, and he's just doing it. And the other
Gunslinger.
quarterbacks are sitting there like,
He's pretty good.
oh my gosh, we're done.
Um,
But yeah,
what's your next game?
I got Okie State and Kansas State.
Mode. What
Matt,
the heck?
48-0.
I'll tell you what. You go through their deal there. I'll tell you what I was told from tape.
I'm sorry, Mike Gundy. I'm a big Okie State fan. I'm not bigger than I am an SEC fan, but I liked them this year.
Dean was high on them. He got me high on them, and I was rolling. I had them like 7 or 8.
They had 217 yards.
They're going to be like 15 for me on my
Kansas
list.
State's quarterback didn't even play.
Yeah,
Their
no.
backup played. Will Howard, 296 yards. Deuce Vaughn, which is a fantastic name,
It is.
158 yards rushing.
Pick
And
'em.
500 yards.
Pick'em game at the kick by Vegas. Joey the Fish says, pick it. We ain't even going to call points on it. It's going to be so close. This game's going to be so close. We're going to make it a
48-0.
pick'em. Bet $100 right here. Go to DraftKings.com.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that. It was a pick'em. It was like a 3-point game, then a 1, and then pick'em at
I don't know
kickoff.
what happened. Why don't you tell us what you heard?
Now, this is Josh Pate, Late Kick Show. You go over there and check him out. I watch him a lot. He has good information. Him and Jake Crane, those are legitimate places to find college football news. They're number 2 and 3 under us, of course, Matt and Todd Show. But all kidding aside.
He got all this stuff from me.
Yeah.
He called.
Pate had an interview or somewhat with Gundy after the game, and Gundy says, quote, I worked on some new things in practice this week, some twists on some plays. I had a few guys nicked up, and I didn't play them all the time in practice, only some, because I was worried about some injuries. It's on me. It's my fault. I shouldn't have put those plays in early because they had to go back. End quote.
You know, but
It's on me.
you gotta add wrinkles. Do you not?
I don't know.
Don't you hold players that are hurt out?
Well, Josh questioned the what kind of wrinkle? I mean, like a wrinkle or like a watered up piece of paper wrinkle? Not a wrinkle, but like a multi-fold. And when you multiply fold a page, you get this. And this does what they happen to them: garbage.
Oh gosh,
Garbage.
Just
Zero.
like they didn't even. 0 and 217 yards, man. This bunch averages 450 yards a game.
They should have played Kentucky, and Tennessee should have played K-State.
217, Kentucky with 205.
That's what should happen. Kansas State
3 turnovers.
Kansas State and Tennessee is going to line up. They're going to go play at Nebraska on their field. And we're going to let Kentucky. You're going to play Oklahoma State at UAB.
Man, that may be a
That'd be a good
bowl
idea.
game. No, it won't be a bowl game. Never mind. Tennessee will go to a bigger bowl than
Tennessee plays Okie State at UAB Stadium.
Kentucky.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two, oh, that's terrible.
That's definitely a shocker.
Not a shocker is Coach Harsin. They dump another game at Auburn. I don't know what they're waiting on to fire this guy. They couldn't wait to run off Gus Malzahn. And I put out a tweet yesterday with a little movie clip, a GIF thing, of Malzahn doing boom and Bo Nix in front of him, like this. They couldn't wait to run these guys off, Auburn fans.
Gosh.
Y'all couldn't wait. Last year,
was great.
me and you defended Bo week after week, and Auburn fans will come on this page right here and just murder us on stuff. You're ridiculous. He's an idiot. Get rid of him. Get Bo Nix gone.
He wasn't bad at Auburn.
And they couldn't wait to get rid of Gus. Ready to move on. He can't develop players, and that's true. He can't develop players. Dude, they upset Cincinnati last night, I'm pretty sure. I know they did. I watched part of the game. I watched highlights of it.
They did.
So 27-41 for the Hogs. Jefferson, 16 of 24, cruises to 234 yards. Passing, he rushed for about 50 yards. Sanders now leading the SEC in rushing, 171 on the night.
Wow, he's good.
Landers receiving, 28-yard average on the night, 115 yards. Dang. That's pretty darn good.
Wow.
So
That was
Bigsby, tell what's wrong with him?
I just don't think
What's
their
going
line's too good. They're not running him a lot. They only ran it 11 times.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I don't know why they're not. They're just throwing more. Ashford's throwing for a ton of yards. They're just not rushing for anything.
5-yard average. He averaged the run Saturday 5 yards. Really? Is that what we're doing? I'm trying to find one of those little small ones there. That is not the game. That is last year's game. Auburn beat them 38-23.
38-23 last year.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Tank did have a good game against Ole Miss, but that's been by far his best game of the year.
Oh, crap.
Rocket Sanders, boy, he's a player, isn't he?
Let's do this right here. We'll put it up there.
Big collision there.
Right.
Everyday quarterback. Tank Bigsby. He is tripped up behind
See,
the
you
line.
got nowhere to go.
Yeah, let's
They're down.
This is mostly what they're good at. They
Ashford-
got a decent passing attack.
Ashford throws for 285 with a touchdown. Throw the ball 32 times, I think. See, he's a better runner.
But see, most of those are called pass plays. They're just not running the ball.
He broke it down. Brown had 83 receiving, and Hunter rushed, had a rushing touchdown also. Didn't have a lot of
See, he only
yards.
had 18 yards. Tim
Yeah.
Orbeach don't have any yards this year. Got to be the line.
Well, that's where you win football games up front.
I mean, it's just, I thought their line would be pretty
And,
good.
oh, yeah, that picture of KJ, well, that was not him, by the way.
Oh, was it not?
No, they was talking about that on Twitter. Big game, down the field. Can't tackle him, trying to hold on for dear life. Which he's a big guy. It's 14-10 right here. Almost halftime. Let's skip ahead to after the half.
And the Hawks have put
Puckett.
23 on the board now.
Hazelwood.
23-13.
Puckett finally
Jefferson
chases him
on the
down.
read, back up the middle with it.
About the power, we talked
Look at
about
his
Rocket.
Look at his jersey, man. He looks like a man at work.
Oh, he's good. He's had a good game every game this year.
171 yards on the evening. Oh, pump fake. And he's big, man. You see, and he's got a first down right here. It's 24-13. Auburn's not out of this game, guys. Look, there's 2 minutes left. It's the end of the third quarter.
Oh, nice strike to the big end, and he will take it into
So,
the end zone. A little
again, this is one of those
for the
games.
Hawks.
It looks like
What a third
41-27. They stomped them. Well, it was just they just pulled away at the end of the third.
Right. No,
talked
they didn't.
about it.
Ended up not
Direct
stopping
snap.
them, really, did they?
No, not really.
Dives into the end zone.
There's another
Touchdown,
touchdown.
Arkansas.
No, well,
His
no.
second
38.
rushing touchdown of the day.
But see the time on the clock here. There's 7 minutes left in the game.
37-13,
So it was
and 2 yards.
Auburn put up a good fight for 3 quarters nearly.
Not gonna be what
See what he does here.
Deep
Ooh,
over the
what
middle.
a catch.
Good
There.
run.
Johnson with the catch of the day. One hand.
They just got to be able to develop players. That's not a bad pass over there in the end zone. Is that 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Touchdown Auburn.
I think Ashford's pretty
Camden
good. I think
Brown with
their line
another
and their
surfing
defense.
catch.
They
for the
just got to
Tigers
stay
on that
together, man.
drive.
They just got to stay together. This is the last touchdown here for KJ. That little pitch, that is a pass, and he gets the first down. I know it's kind of weird, ain't it?
Arkansas will have
I mean, I
first
just don't.
coming up for
It's
Taylor
too easy
Little.
to
He hit
stat.
Field goal
7
ends the
earlier.
game.
And this one is hammered through the upright.
Okay. I
Coach Sam Pittman.
me and you can run through there and catch a pitch, and we get a reception.
Oh, Sam. He was our coach of the year last year. So that was some of the Auburn highlight game there in Arkansas. 41-27 final. I don't, man. If they're going to fire the guy, they're going to just fire the guy. And let's just quit talking about it. Go ahead and hire you somebody else. Go spend a bunch of money. You don't even have a stinking athletic director. But supposedly they're going to get the guy from Mississippi State. He is. And now he would be a good hire. He's done great there at Mississippi State. So who else you got?
Well, man, I got Michigan State and Michigan. Michigan won 29-7. Corum rushed for 177 yards. He is also a Heisman candidate. McCarthy threw for 167. Michigan players thought they could have won it worse, and of course the big news from that, and you know what that was the huge fight after the game
Yeah, I've seen some.
in the tunnel, right?
Yeah, I had that.
I don't know. A Michigan player said something to a Michigan State player, and I was told
Was he a
today,
player? Was he a player?
I
See, it
think
looked like
so.
it looked like he had on a jacket or something.
Well, supposedly Mel Tucker was involved in this thing. One of our sources from the state of Kentucky, we got people working all over,
We do.
said that Tucker was involved in it. Now, I don't know the truth in that. I've not read that, but that was said.
Let's take a look while you continue on. We'll take a
They
look at
just
the game.
dominated the game. They just didn't score a lot of points, but they did have 450 yards of offense.
Well,
And Michigan State didn't have many.
now let me tell you, and you know how I am about Michigan,
Right. I don't think Michigan State's great this year.
but you know how I've been on Michigan all year.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not high on it at all.
No.
At all. I had them 7 or 8 right there with Okie State. I watched this game, most of all of it. My mind has changed, Dean.
You think they're pretty good?
Yeah.
They are. They're not bad. They're four. They're my four. With Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee. and Michigan.
I'm sold on them at 4. I mean, I'm going to tell you why. I think the defense is decent. They get on the board right here. 2 minutes ago left in the first quarter. I think their defense is pretty decent. Look at McNamara.
No,
McCarthy, I mean.
Yeah.
MC, McKinney, McCarthy,
McNamara
McNamara.
lost his
We're
spot.
all family. We come from the same shire of trees in the motherland of England, though, right? Hey, he's run the ball pretty good. What was his numbers?
You talking about McCarthy?
Yeah.
He was 14 for 19,
Wow.
167.
That's a great night.
Yeah, he's good.
That's not like it's not Stroud numbers, but
No.
he don't have to.
No, but Corum had 177 rushing.
Yeah, is that 2 there?
Yeah, that's Blake Corum.
Tell us about him.
And he's got over 1,000 yards on the year now. He is a Heisman candidate and a serious Heisman candidate.
Little guy. Let's see this right here, McCarthy.
Yeah.
That right there. That little stuff right there can win you football games. How many do you have rushing? Do you have 100 rushing maybe?
No, he did not. Had
50.
like 42.
Yeah.
They probably got sacked some, but Donovan Edwards, their backup, had 50. Corum 177. But the top 3 right now is Hooker, Stroud.
Now
and Corum.
this is after the half game. Look score. That's ball game still.
Then they put it on pretty quick.
I was thinking right here. That field goal there, going into the 4th.
That hurt.
Yes, 19. They just gonna make it a field goal game. It is.
I think.
It's like Jaden Burns there. I wonder if he could go up there and do that, couldn't he?
Yeah.
That I knew by the end of the 3rd. I was like, I'll khaki pants. He's got a football team here.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know that they're better than Tennessee, Georgia, or Ohio State, but
No.
they're not bad.
Let me tell you why I haven't been really sold on them all year, Michigan.
Why is that?
Because what happened last year.
Right.
And when Notre Dame done that, Coach Kelly came down there in Florida and Bama skunked them 59 at halftime.
Yeah.
I don't care to see them in another playoff.
Right. But as of right now, they would be in.
They would be, and I want to see them in this playoff. Right now, they would play a rematch would be Georgia, and Tennessee would play Ohio State. Right now, if we played the top four to be, and I don't want to hear this crap with tie. They got on AP poll number. They got 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. What?
I'll go over that here.
Dude, do you see that?
Yeah.
They got 1 and then a 2 and a 2. Why?
Yeah, just go. It doesn't matter. All right, Matt, here's some other scores from around the country. Ole Miss beat A&M 31-28. Good game. Judkins, what do you think about Judkins?
I told you. I texted you his. Yeah,
206.
I watched him play closely. I like him.
Dart.
I do like
Pretty
him.
good numbers. UNC beat Pitt 42-24. That shocked me. UCLA handled Stanford 38-13.
I agree.
Arizona gave USC all they wanted, but neither one of USC's top receivers played. Louisville beat Wake Forest 48-21. Wow. Is that a shocker?
Yes. Yeah, the UCF beating Cincinnati.
Yeah, UCF beat Cincinnati 25-21. Illinois handled Nebraska 26-9. Oregon 42-24 over Cal.
Not big surprised.
Another great game.
I watched some of the Ducks.
Knicks.
Yep. What do you have for the day? I wonder. 200-300.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
275, 300.
USC's going to have to beat him to take them out.
TCU beat West Virginia 41-31. They look beatable. Utah beat Washington State 21-17.
Georgia and Michigan
Top 20.
will play Ohio State and Tennessee. And the winners would be who's.
Let me see.
Now this is how it is right now. The 1 through whatever. It's on your messenger there.
Yeah, I got it right here. I got Georgia and Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan. So it will be Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee right now.
Yep.
Clemson 5, Alabama 6.
Well, you go on through the rest, and I'm going to make a one. I'm going to show you what I think it should be.
All right. Clemson 5, Bama 6, TCU 7, Oregon 8, USC 9, UCLA 10, Ole Miss still 11, Utah 12, Kansas State 13, Illinois 14. That's the highest they've been ranked in years. LSU 15, Penn State 16, North Carolina has moved to 17. Oklahoma State fell to 18. They fell 9 spots,
I know.
man.
Yeah.
19, Tulane. Wake Forest fell 10 spots to 20. NC State, Syracuse, Liberty, who plays. They got a big game this week. Who does Liberty play this week? I'm fixing to look that up. Oregon State 24 and UCF 25. I got to look and see who Liberty plays this week. It's a big game.
I got it right here.
Liberty football.
They are playing November the 5th. They play
Arkansas. Wow. Arkansas's had a tough schedule. But, yeah, so you'd have Georgia, Michigan, and Tennessee, Ohio State, which I think would be a fantastic ball game. I'm not so sure. Well, Georgia's not as good as they were last year,
No.
so it may be a better game this year.
Now this would be my
Which it'll change because all them
They
play
1
each
and
other.
4, and then 2 and 3. Excuse me. All right, my playoff bracket. This is what it would look like now. It'd be Georgia plays Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
The winner plays Ohio State and Tennessee.
All right. Which all that's going to change.
That's why I got my bracket shows. I got Georgia playing TCU. 1 and 4, and then 2 and 3. I got Bama and Ohio State. Because if Tennessee loses to Georgia or Georgia loses to Tennessee, one of them's coming out, and the next team up is going to come in. And Clemson has got Notre Dame, and they're probably. I think they beat Notre Dame. I don't know, but they could.
They still got South Carolina, too.
LSU. Bama's got to beat LSU and Ole Miss, and I think their record is going to push them ahead. But are they going to keep a? I mean, let's look at the AP here. Are they going 2 and 4 is going to play.
Right, and 1 and 3 play.
So 2 of these teams are coming out. So I'm doing a projected. I'm going to say Bama. I'm going to say Ohio State stays in because they beat Michigan.
Right.
And I'm going to say Georgia stays in because they beat Tennessee.
Okay.
So my 2 new teams in are Bama and TCU, which are the 6 and 7.
6. Yeah, 6. You think Clemson's not going to survive?
Well, they can, but a 1 loss Bama will pass us Clemson.
Yes.
I think.
Well, see, look what Clemson's got left. They got Notre Dame, Louisville,
Oh, it's garbage.
who's playing good, though.
Louisville is playing good right now.
Miami and South Carolina. If they can get past Saturday, they may
Miami
go 11-0. But they're going to have to play North Carolina in the
North Carolina's playing good now, and Miami went to overtime to beat Virginia.
beat Virginia 14-12 without
Oh
their quarterback.
God! Oh,
But
overtime, Virginia.
so let's see. And I'm looking at something here. All right, so you're saying Georgia beats Tennessee and Ohio State beats Michigan.
So them two's in.
and Clemson's just their
Well-
strength of schedule is going to hurt them
Well,
unless they win out.
They ain't played a ranked team. Alabama's going to have beaten 2 ranked teams.
Right. Alabama,
By
TCU.
then.
We agree that Oregon's not going to make it. USC possibly, maybe.
The only way a Pac-12 team's going to wind up getting in will be if Bama has got to lose one of them games.
Yeah, they got to lose to Ole Miss or LSU,
Bama's
which I do not think they will do.
If Bama loses that and they got 2 losses, they're out. TCU is for sure in.
I think they're in.
I think they make it.
Yeah.
The Horned Frogs. But here's what's going to happen, and I told you this today. I sent you that picture today or yesterday. I sent Dan a picture, and I said, let me tell you, I'm going through this schedule here, and I'm studying a little college football here. TCU is always that team that dumps a dumb game, like Iowa State or something stupid.
Yes. And it's getting closer and closer. West Virginia played them very good yesterday.
Baylor.
Very good. You think Baylor's going to get them? Baylor, preseason, win
Supposed to win the conference.
Pac-12. I mean, not the Pac, Big 12.
Yeah. So, and when y'all went to that game, you can go right now, go to ESPN, go to Baylor, go to their schedule, or TCU. And when you go to that game and you click it, it'll give you a statistic for that game. So when you go to that game, NCAA football, go down here to TCU, click on TCU, and then you go down here to where they play Baylor, right here. They play the 19th. Look at that. Look at the it's 56 to 44%. They got Baylor picked to win 56%.
I would agree.
I
agree with you.
I just think they're going to dumb one up. And that's going to be the 19th, which they're going to have. Oh, I'm sorry. They got to play Texas before that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
Texas has got a good football team.
And they got Texas Tech this weekend. So are they going to dump?
Who's also a good football team.
Are they going to dump to Texas Tech, Texas, and then Baylor's going to? So
somebody's going to get them.
TCU's going to get nipped. That'll take care of them. They'll be out of the way. And then my foregone conclusion will be out. And the one who'd you see me scratch out there?
Clemson. You don't think Clemson?
That'll be back, and they'll be back in because Clemson's got a cakewalk to the
If they can
playoffs.
get past Notre Dame.
They beat Notre Dame. Which Notre Dame are they ranked? Did they put them? Did AP?
No.
They're still not ranked. Guys, come on.
No.
So yeah, I don't want to.
So you think Clemson? But Alabama will have to play Georgia in that. But you think no matter if Alabama does beat Georgia, Alabama and Georgia's in.
Yeah,
Where
well,
does Tennessee go?
yeah, Alabama would have to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
This is assuming that Bama would beat them in the SEC title game because they beat Tennessee out, and that puts Bama in. Well, of course, Bama. It don't matter if Tennessee beats Georgia or not. Well, I mean, it would because then we could get to play them again. But I mean, it wouldn't for the West.
I'm fixing to drop them.
Because if Bama wins the West, well, Georgia or Tennessee, one of them's going to win the East, right?
Yes, definitely. It's looking like
so. Bama. What I'm saying is, there's less of a struggle for the West than there is the East.
Right.
Because I don't think Ole Miss.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong.
I mean, I hope not. I'm fixing to drop a big time bombshell on you.
But what if Georgia beats them and Bama will have 2
Tennessee
losses?
beats Georgia.
Okay, and so that'll put them winning the East, and Bama would have to play them for the SEC.
Which I think they would beat them. I'm sorry,
Bama beats them
but
again.
I don't think they beat them twice.
But then now a 1-loss Tennessee.
Well, they'd have one lot. Who do you put, Tennessee or Georgia?
Tennessee at 4.
Yeah.
But Georgia would have 1 loss too.
Right, and
But
beat Tennessee. No,
you're
Tennessee
saying
yeah.
You're saying Tennessee beats Georgia. Well, if Tennessee beats, they'd have to do them like they did Bama. They'd have to put them at 5 because they'd have a loss.
Yeah.
They'd be like 8-1 or whatever it's time.
So it'd be Tennessee.
I mean 10-1, 9-1.
Tennessee, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State.
And then 3 would be.
If you go by prediction, Georgia would not get in.
Well, if Tennessee beat Georgia at that time,
well, I think
they would probably be 1. It'd be Tennessee, Ohio State, Bama, and then 4 would be Clemson. Yes.
I would think
So
Alabama would beat Tennessee a second time. It's hard to beat Alabama twice.
Yeah,
Let's just be
it's
for
hard to
real,
anybody
man.
twice.
Anybody.
If Dean pulls off the magic, we put it on your head there. If Tennessee beats Georgia this weekend, November 5th, we will have our media day, and we'll be done right before all this goes down. Tennessee would be 1. Ohio State will be 2. Bama would come in at
I would think.
this weekend they may not. They may put Clemson at 3 and put Bama at 4, or they may if TCU beats who they got, Texas Tech. If they beat Tech, they may put them at 4 and put Bama at 5.
Yeah.
Because you might as well leave Bama at 5. It don't matter because if they got to beat Ole Miss the next week to win out.
If Bama loses the game, they're out.
Oh, they're done.
If they lose by 1 point,
It don't matter. Done.
they're done.
It's because there'll be 2 losses. Then the next week they maybe could. But Tennessee beats Georgia this week. They'll be 1. Georgia will go to 5, and Bama they may put them at. No, they won't neither. I don't know, man. How they gonna do that? The next ranking.
Yeah.
Are they gonna put an undefeated Clemson at 4 or put a 1-loss Bama at 5 that just beat LSU? That is a ranked team, but Clemson's got their win is against a non-ranked Notre Dame team that's not good. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Now Clemson may raise Cain about this. This will make a big mess. If Tennessee beats Georgia, this make a big mess.
Yeah. I think they may.
Now, we're assuming TCU is still undefeated, too. TCU's got no losses. Georgia's got 1 loss. Clemson is undefeated, beating a garbage Notre Dame. Bama's got 1 loss. Woo! Tennessee's undefeated. Ohio State. So the undefeateds will be TCU, Clemson, Ohio State, Tennessee. So that'd probably be 1,
And Georgia's going to be undefeated if they beat
3,
Tennessee.
4.
Yeah.
TCU be 4, and Georgia and Clemson and Bama will be
We're
5,
leaving
6, 7.
Michigan out of this, y'all. We're saying Ohio State beats them.
5, 6, 7. Well, I'm just saying this weekend.
Yeah.
If that happens, then where's Michigan going to fit? They're still undefeated, so they'll go in. They'll probably be 4, and then you got Clemson will be 3. Ohio State will be 2. Oh, God, what a mess that'll be. Yeah, Michigan have to stay 4. Who's going to bump them out? They're not going to move them out and move Clemson in.
No, because they know that Ohio State or Michigan is
They're going to play
get
in the next.
Yeah.
They play around Thanksgiving or
Thanksgiving. I think the day before. No, 2 days after.
so. We picked Ohio State. We won that one. We picked Georgia. We picked Tennessee. We got A&M. We lost that one.
Dang it.
Michigan. We like Michigan, and we like Dean had
I picked
Auburn over Arkansas, so that ain't no big deal. We just this weekend before we get off here, we'll get off next week, week 10. It's November. This is the time to remember because it's November. Did that rhyme? Did I just make a little joke there? Check out the Miami, Virginia stats. Yeah, I know. Not a single touchdown in either game. Oh, it's terrible.
Wow. Yeah, Miami's not playing well right now.
Cristobal's still the guy.
I don't think they need to get rid of him.
No, leave the man alone. Jeez Louise.
Van Dyke didn't even play.
Yes. Game of the week. Game of the week's going to be Michigan at Rutgers. No, I just put that on there to have another one because it's not.
Yeah.
These weeks are just okay. Ole Miss is by. They're going to get ready for Bama. Wake Forest, North Carolina State, 7 o'clock on ACC Network.
I'm going to pick NC State.
Okay. NC State. I'll take Wake. Okie State at Kansas. Are they going to reel back and beat the one
so.
loss? You think they beat them? Mm-hmm. He better get them right. I'll be different and just be Kansas. Michigan at Rutgers.
I'm going to go with Michigan. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but
Clemson at Notre Dame, 6:30 on NBC.
I can't pick Notre Dame. I got to pick Clemson.
I can't either. I hate Notre Dame.
I mean, I think Notre Dame may give them a good game, but
We find out. They better get their stuff together. They better not go up there at Notre Dame and think they're going to walk on that.
no.
Because they're going to play excited. They have nothing to lose.
No.
And they can spoil their season in one night. In 3 hours' time, their whole season's
And
running.
Clemson's been close. I mean, they've been close they barely beat Florida State. They barely beat Syracuse. So don't be shocked if there's an upset there.
Texas at K-State.
Texas.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't. Can they repeat from last week? I'm gonna roll with Sark.
Mm-hmm.
Bama at LSU.
I'm going to pick Bama. I mean, I think LSU has improved. I think Brian Kelly's done a fantastic job.
That game's at 6, Dean, on ESPN.
Yeah, I do not think they win that.
Clemson's on at 6:30 on NBC. And our game of the week at 2:30, which we should be just getting done after we get our media days lined up. Yeah, he's talking about the stats of Miami game. 2:30, CBS, Tennessee and Georgia.
I'm going to go with the Vols, man. I just think they look a little better.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I was going with Georgia till I saw what they did to UK.
I just don't. I don't think Tennessee's ready yet for that. The atmosphere.
That atmosphere's going to be rough. I can see where you would pick that.
Them boys, a lot of them old boys have played a lot of football. Kirby Smart is why they win the game. Heupel is not ready for that part of his life yet, but he's working towards it, and I think Heupel's doing a fantastic job.
He is.
And they got a good quarterback.
They do. And they got good offense, but
now
I don't know.
I ain't gonna be surprised now if Tennessee goes up there and Floppy Top lays a knot on the head of the Bulldogs. I'm not gonna be.
No,
I'm not gonna come back on here next week and go, holy crap.
No. I won't be shocked.
And you wouldn't be shocked if Georgia won.
No, definitely.
We're both kind of in the middle.
I never did like the
Honestly, I like Georgia because it's at home.
Alabama
Honestly.
and Tennessee fans going, we'll see you again. Well, I mean, come on,
I
man.
don't know. Yeah,
We don't know. But I do think it's possible.
Yes, absolutely. It's highly possible.
But, it's not going to be an easy. That's a tall order to go to Athens and win against a team that's undefeated and coming off a national championship. Georgia has beat everybody they've played for the last 2 years. Now, I know you say, no, Alabama beat them. Yeah, but they came back and beat Alabama. So they beat every team on their schedule.
No.
Last year, they beat everybody they played.
Let's see what happens. Y'all come on out there.
They have this year.
I don't know how that game's going to roll out. Balls by 4, Logan says.
I could buy that.
Yeah.
32-28.
Yeah.
35-31.
Go find us on.
35-31. That's a good score.
I ain't even going to pick a score. I can't.
35-31, Logan.
Hit that darn subscribe button if you're still on this channel. Obviously, you probably already have. Go tell a friend, though. Find us on. You go to work and tell a friend, say, guys, I got some buddies of mine. They have this show. They do high school football and college football. And, I ain't got time to watch it, really, man. It's kind of tough, Well, you can listen to it while you're riding your car to work and skip ahead to the college part if you just like college. Or if you don't like college, just stay with the first part. We'll break down this high school stuff. We do a real good, clean show, and I'm proud of what we do. Show 161, Dean, is in the books.
161. It's nearly 300 hours.
Yeah, sometimes we go over an hour, like we've been on 2:20 tonight, and sometimes we'll go an hour. Basketball season's an hour usually.
Yeah.
We're fixing to get into that.
Probably
later.
average an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that's going to put us right at about 250 hours of airtime.
Guys, we're rocking it out. Thank y'all for coming by and hanging out with us tonight. And tomorrow night we'll be live Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. Going to do the college playoff picking show. I'm trying to get Christian. If he can't come on, I'm going to do it anyway. So
right.
Come on here. I'll turn it around and we'll watch it together and we'll talk about the picks. So y'all have a great week. God bless you and keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God.
And congrats to Hunter Jenkins and Tanner Eads and keep Chattooga High School.
Oh, me, yeah.
And those boys' families in your prayers. That's a terrible tragedy, and I just hate it for the whole community.
Me too, man. Godspeed all the family and everybody. We love you guys, and we'll catch y'all later.
Catch y'all next week.
Next week. Later.